voices that are in my head, wondering if they'll ever be put to bed. Feels like I am close to reaching my wit's end, holding out, but I'm about to blow it up like a volcano. Another day to lose control. There's a fire in my bones. My sight gets blurry, pushing back the tears. Should take a leap of faith and face my fear. I blame it on the voices that are in my head, wondering if they'll ever be put to bed. Feels like I am close to reaching my wit's end, holding out, but I'm about to blow it up like a volcano. Like a volcano. Blow it up like a volcano. What you do, what you do, what you do to me? Can't you see what it means when you're setting free? What you do, what you do, what you do to me? Can't you see what it means when you're setting free? Blow it up like a volcano.
Got drunk off your lie, and I lost myself again. You hit just like a drug. This time I won't let you in. You're playing with fire. No, I didn't, I'm the prey, but this time I won't collide. ya sé que es de ti. I got to stay away, got to stay away. Sé que como un trofeo quieres tenerme, pero I don't need no one. Que yo ya sé que es de ti. I got to stay away, got to stay away. No, 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 baby, no, 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 no setbacks. No, 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 baby, no, 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 this time. You broke my heart once again. I won't buy the dust in return. I can't give in, I can't give in. I won't give in this time. You broke my heart once again. When you bad, but you bad it for me. I can't give in, I can't give in. I've already run with the wolves. Far from the light of the day. I can't go back to you. I'm stronger today. Been to the dark side of the moon. So if you wanna shoot far away, I won't go back to you. I'm stronger, I'm stronger, I'm stronger today. I'm stronger today. There you were on the other side of the room. Place was filled, but all I could see was you. You're magnetic, captivating, and you know it's true. Sent a smile and you started to make your way through. The crowd, it grew so loud. You and I didn't even care. I never wanna get used to the sound you whispering in my ear. I've loved you since I met you. Did I ever tell you that? I tried to push you out, you pull in. I fell hard so fast. There you were on the other side of the room. Place was filled, but all I could see was you. You're magnetic, captivating, and you know it's true. Sent a smile and you started to make your way through. The crowd, it grew so loud. You and I didn't even care. I never wanna get used to the sound you whispering in my ear. I've loved you since I met you. Did I ever tell you that? I tried to push you out, you pull in. I fell hard so fast. There you were on the other side of the room. Place was filled, but all I could see was you. You're magnetic, captivating, and you know it's true.
Hello everybody and welcome to the grand finals here at Playfly Dota 2 2025 spring season. Could not be more excited to bring this one to you. We're early, both time and we're actually a week ahead of schedule to bring you these finals, but these two teams absolutely deserve it. The University of British Columbia versus the University of Toronto today. A little Canada versus Canada matchup, bringing you the spicy one. I'm here with Chikarinahim joining us yet again on the stream, so happy to have you.
Hello everyone, glad to be back. We have an ETA, about 5 minutes and the lobby starts.
Let's do it. You love
oh,
to see these college games start on time, right?
Yeah, and most of the time they do get rescheduled. This one happened to be rescheduled early, which I think is a first actually, or a second.
Yeah, almost never we see reschedules ahead of schedule. It's always like after the match was supposed to happen, it's then pushed a couple hours and whatever. But you know, what are you gonna do?
So both teams, UBC and UFT, for grand final, and I think they did have a match in the previous season for semifinals, or was it also the grand finals?
No, that was the semifinals. The finals ended up being Toronto versus Seneca. But I do remember that matchup in the semis, UFT versus UBC, and if I remember, that was a pretty one-sided affair for the University of Toronto back then.
Oh.
Pulled you out of your element.
I do remember an Octet Rampage from a Shadow Fiend by Misclick, the current carry of UFT right now.
Oh, was that game? Oh, jeez.
That
I
was
remember
that
that.
game. And,
I remember that specific team fight, actually. Like, holy.
Yeah. And
making me wish
then,
I had the replay.
I think UFT since then had swapped in one player or two for... oh no, for one player. I think it's Lychee King's out for Faluda, I believe.
Yeah, no, that would be the difference, right? And we've actually seen more than just Lychee King go out for Faluda, but actually Big Fat B basically swapping his role entirely from the mid, right, over to the position 4.
Yep, and Big Fat B, UFT's highest MMR player in the whole league, 12k MMR right now, currently on his way to 13. He does specialize in +4 in his pubs, and well, that is reflected in his games and Playfly right now.
Yeah, except for when they pick the Ember Spirit. I mean, seriously, like, watch out for an Ember Spirit pick for the U of T, and all of a sudden we might see Big Fat B play at mid. The last Ember they picked had Big Fat B going mid. I think Faluda's gotten one of them this season, and after that, Big Fat B was like, absolutely not. I'm taking this hero back. So that's the one little bit of flex coming through Toronto's side. Flipping over to the UBC lineups we've got going through. It's Requiem on the carry with Sentinel mid, and he's pretty competent himself as well, by the way. So despite University of Toronto having the number 1 MMR player overall in the league, Sentinel should have the MMR advantage on the mid matchup against Faluda. And they rounded out with Mr. Lizard Kinjiki, No Madro, the Psycho position 4, and Broke in the position 5.
So
you don't get to see the graphic on my screen, Chike, but I had a nice spread for him, you know.
Okay. UBC, their most recent match against Seneca, they did series against Seneca. They did make it look good. I think they just passed through too many hiccups and with a really convincing deuce off lane. UFT, their last series was about a month ago, 28 days, if I quote you correctly.
Yeah, exactly. I was looking at that before this matchup. So the University of Toronto haven't played a match 28 days. And their last match, by the way, was the last regular season week. That was a matchup against the University of British Columbia. Toronto came away with that 2-1 series victory, and really all the games were very up-tempo, very fast-paced, and tons of kills. The one match that UBC was able to come out on top, they were able to slow things down a little bit, and Toronto ended up ratcheting it up for games 2 and 3 in that series. But yeah, I mean, but since then, we've had a bye week. Then the University of Toronto had their own bye week for coming first overall in the league. Then they had a forfeit win collected last week, and since then, it's been 1 week to get us to the grand finals. And Chike, you've been in this position before on the University of Toronto side. You know, what's it like when you have so many weeks between when you played your last match? I mean, being against the same team is definitely an added hiccup, but how do you get back into it straight away?
Just play pubs, I think, and all of them do that. And I think everybody on both sides has their own warm-up routine. I know a lot of UFT guys, they just play pubs. And UBC, last night I actually met a few of them in my pubs too, so they were definitely warming up, probably, because they were all invis for some reason. I was like, what's going on here? Why
you know, it's a coordinated approach. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And I did see a Sentinel popping on the Overthrow right before this series, so they all have their own stuff. And
I guess
here,
Overthrow's a pretty unique one to warm up for for real matches in my experience at least.
Radiant team.
I do know some pros do it, and in TI when it was happening on Seattle, I think. I encountered a few Team Liquid players in the Overthrow games.
That's awesome. I haven't heard that one, so you know, there you go. You Overthrow enjoyers. That is professional Dota warm-ups for you.
Yeah, and UBC they start out the series banning DK Disruptor. DK, I know Misclick plays that hero very well, and yeah, I think he did beat UFT with it very convincingly. Disruptor, I don't quite see UFT playing it. Maybe it's because Big Fat B plays it in his pubs. They anticipate him playing Plus 4. UFT with starting off with Invoker Tinker bans. UBC, they are able to play Tinker support very well. They've demonstrated in the past series, and it's how they took a game off UFT before. And Invoker is just a hero by Sentinel. They're UBC's mid, so it's one of his best heroes. So that's why they're banning a comfort ban for them. And now a Dusa ban. Just a very strong offlaner right now with the fast set, unslowable. And here comes a Lifestealer ban. I'm not too sure what that is. Not very impressionable here right now, but that's presumably because UFT themselves plan to pick some strength hero on their sides. So we'll see how it goes from here.
Yeah, so getting through the first phase of bans, I did want to ask you, you know, just seeing ESL 1 Raleigh completed, we're on the same patch, nothing's really changed. One of the complaints, the ideas that I've seen is that, you know, you only really see 20-30% of the heroes involved in a vast majority of the games. How much do you think that tournament meta is really, like, applicable to these games versus there's going to be more comfort picks, whatever, coming through?
I think those tournament games are much less applicable to these, because I think you're never going to see, like, a Disruptor, Veno, or Lifestealer ban. I think a lot of these teams are just second-guessing each other. It's like, we plan to do this, how are they going to respond, or, like, what's good against our plan, and they'll ban accordingly, and then they'll like think a next step ahead. Oh, if they do get that off, what should we pick / ban, right? So like in the beginning of ESL Rayla, I think we did see a lot of AAs, but like as the tournament progressed, that hero just got slowly phased out. It got replaced by a lot of different things. 9 class pulling out the support Terrorblade on main stage, just semi-finals. So the meta changes pretty quickly.
The AA ended up being contested in 95% of matches at Raleigh. I think it really shifted from being picked up a lot early to being that first phase ban for a lot of teams.
Yeah.
We actually see these first 2 picks, by the way, the Ancient Apparition and the Nature's Prophet, are 2 of the top 4 contested heroes throughout the tournament.
I think Nature's Prophet was pretty much first banned for the entire tournament, honestly. But I think a Nature's Prophet, very likely to be a position 1 hero. But I think this hero does actually have a really high skill ceiling, despite people just say, oh, yeah, you just take Treant and A-click the enemies. I think a lot has to do with your item timings, how you position your fight and teleport, because this hero has really low movement speed. So you need to get a really good position to start teleporting, A-click, and assume you don't just get bursted when you TP in a bad position, right? Even Tinker gets it off easier because he has the shield, but Nature's Prophet, he doesn't have this. And I think what the weaknesses AA does have is a weak laning phase, well, or not as strong as you think you can have compared to other supports. For example, like Jakiro or Tusk. That hero is not as meta right now, but
the Tusk looked phenomenal when we did get to see it. Again, I'm basing a lot of mine based on you know, what we did see at Raleigh, because I've been very watching Dota. I've been very in the watch Dota mood with I'm gonna call it a major. I know we don't do majors anymore, but you know, it's exciting to see a US-based event. We're not going to see one for probably years from now.
That is true.
But no, I think you're absolutely right. But at that being said, the Ancient Apparition is, you know, one of those things that's the anti-strength, anti-tanky heroes, you know, HP regen, whatever meta, and you know, that's why we see it contested so much. I will say the Nature's Prophet, you know, contested in just about every game, you know, has a high win rate. But it never feels like that, you know, carry where you can kind of play and make mistakes and still be okay. It feels like, you know, one slip up, you're not doing a ton of damage, you get caught, and you can just be punished so hard.
Exactly. I think once you catch like 2 or 3 deaths, your game is just completely set back. It's very similar to an AM farming and getting caught with his Battle Fury Manta 2 or 3 times, boom, you're done. UFT picking a very strong lane here, Nature's Prophet and Ogre. Ogre Magi is not very meta in ESL Raylight, but this hero does give you a strong lane, right? With his high HP pool, he can just walk up and A-click people.
10 seconds.
Yeah,
remaining.
no, I think, you know, you talk about the level 2 power spike in Ogre with
5
the
seconds remaining.
learning curve facet. There we go, took me a second.
Mm.
But, you know, has one of the top power spikes in the game at level 2. Furion
Yep.
covers for that. With level 1, you get the tree, or you get the tree, and you're, you know, already bullying people out 1 versus 2. And you really are just set up to win the lane. It does feel like, you know, if the game starts to go a bit later, Ogre really falls off in the impact. So,
Mm.
U of T, I mean, this is exactly the style. We didn't get to talk about it too much early on in this pre-game, but U of T is all about tempo. They're all about setting a very fast pace in their games.
UBC picks the Tiny Wind Ranger really quickly, so we can probably assume it's going to be Tiny +1 and with an AA support. Not exactly the dominating lane, but with Tiny, you can't exactly dominate a lane. You can outlast hit them, but in a 2v2 situation, kills aren't as quite likely to happen, especially when you have an AA support, unless the enemy misplays the lane, right? Wind Ranger, I see this hero starting to get picked up as support in the pubs because of the kill shot facet, where you have a pseudo AA ulti on your W on power shot.
Yeah, the Gale Force as well is so annoying
Yeah.
to play against. How much flex do you think there is here with the Tiny to potentially go mid? I mean, obviously not seeing any matchups.
Radiant
I do see
team
some potential because Sentinel himself plays the +2 Tiny, right? Oh wow, okay.
This is the other
I think-
support that we've seen, you know, more and more of, at least recently in pubs, is this position 4 Weaver, right?
Yeah, and he just literally picked himself
10
very strong
seconds
offlane and
remaining.
safe lane duos, I think. Tidehunter is basically like an immovable mountain, right? And I don't think Tiny really punishes that hero hard, unless, well, I guess you can take the tree grab and A-click the Tide down if you really want, but kills aren't really likely to happen. And Weaver is really good against AA in lane, because once you get the bugs on AA, AA, if you see out of the position, he has bugs on him, you have to A-click to get the bugs. He has low armor naturally, it's very easy for AA to die in this lane.
Templar Assassin.
Oh,
Here you go.
Okay.
So, I guess this is your flex depending on what UBC's overall last pick is. You now have either TA or Tiny to go mid.
yeah.
I think preferable would be TA mid, Tiny in the safe lane, but if your matchup ends up terrible, you could always
Radiant
those two.
team back.
And I think both teams know. Okay, UBC definitely missing their offlaner, but UFT is definitely missing their mid laner, right? So that's why the Ember Spirit ban, as you mentioned before. Big Fat B himself can play the Ember very well, or they can give their mid back to Faluda, where they pick Puck or
I really wish that the Ember got through, or gets through at some point in the series, because I want to know what they would do. Ever since I've been saying this, like, it happened in one series, like, a month and a half ago. And they haven't picked Ember ever since, I don't think. And I want to know if it's, like, part of the permanent plan, if you get the Ember Spirit through. If it does go to Big Fat B. And yeah, the last time that they had an Ember Spirit pick was a month ago in the regular season. They played Michigan, and Big Fat B took it to the mid. He went 12-1. So I really want to know, you know, is that like you come out of retirement from the mid lane, you go play this one hero that you're just
5 seconds
dominant on?
remaining.
maybe he's
'Cause
like,
it's gotta
nah.
feel good.
Maybe he sees Faluda playing, is like, no, I will do better. And he's like, give me the Ember. He's like, go play 4.
No,
I'll
that's
show you
gotta
how
be
it's
like,
done.
if I was playing the mid, I would have secured that kill on the gank. Like, there's no way they get away. You just have to take it.
I think the TA pick from UVC does change a lot about the lane. This hero with the meld and refractions is just really good against Tidehunter and Weaver in general. Much less to worry about on their safe lane and UBC, and but they do lack their offlaner and a hero that has AoE control or like frontline potential. They don't really exactly have a good early game tempo from UBC. UFT definitely has a good early game tempo. Looking at their lineup, I'm not.
Looking at U of T bans, you know, they ban out the Wraith King as a potential offlaner Legion.
Yeah.
Notably, Centaur's still in the pool, right? I feel like that's a hero that you can put TA in the cart later on, and you know you have that extra layer of save coming from your offlaner. Because right now at UBC they don't have any save included in this draft.
Yeah.
10
I think the
seconds
Centaur is.
I guess
A
also
good angle,
Beastmaster is in. There's a lot of good offlaners that are still in the pool, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Medusa. Oh no, Medusa was banned. Okay, first
Medusa was
phase.
banned,
You know, me not paying attention. There we go. Is Beastmaster really in the cards for either of these teams? Do you think, or is this just going to be a hero that, you know, it takes a little bit of a different play style, different skill cap to really succeed in the Beastmaster, and you don't want to, you know, push it too far?
I think I've never seen UBC or I've actually never seen any of the teams play it.
I don't
Other
know
than
that I have either.
Sashi.
That's my thinking. Is like it's definitely it's not the hardest hero to play, but if you haven't played it, you're not gonna just take it because it's good.
Yeah, I don't think they want to just push it out here. I know Sashi occasionally plays it, but he's definitely not going to type. Oh, they come with the axe. The classic Playfly.
This is the college hero. This is the college hero. I think we talked about it last week, right? The whole idea is that Axe, you have to punish him in the laning phase. It's one of the weaker laning phases that you can have on an off-lane hero. And in high MMR games, in professional tier play, you need to cut waves. It's going to make it very hard for you. You're going to struggle. You need to come back. We very rarely see this Axe hero punished early on in lanes in college Dota. It's just a little bit lacking in the coordination, and when you can overcome one of the hero's greatest weaknesses, it really changes the dynamic of, you know, the strength of a hero.
So it is going to be a Phoenix last pick mid from UFT, and I think Big Fat B will be playing it with Faluda and Phosphor Weaver. So in terms of mid matchup, I guess your tiny mid on UBC will have a pretty miserable lane because of how Fire Spirits work on a hero with low attack speed in general. But does that mean UBC gets a freer safe lane on TA and AA?
So, basically my question here, and I don't know that we need to answer it necessarily, but I'm almost surprised UBC didn't put TA mid against the Phoenix, seeing that, and have a little bit less suffering. Even though maybe your safe lane matchup would be a little bit worse. I guess maybe they think that the mid matchup on Tiny is just, it's bad, but it's not the worst. I'm not sure.
He did take the crash landing faucet, so he probably thinks he can outlast him with the tree grab damage, but it probably won't go too well. We'll see how it goes, definitely. At the end of the day, it's like, who can play their hero better, right? In these kinds of games.
Yeah, if I remember, Phoenix level 1 spirits, and they'll be taking spirits, is a 60-second cooldown, I think, or 50?
60? So I thought it was like 35.
No, it's like 50 or 60 seconds level 1. It scales pretty well with levels.
Oh, it is 50.
You know, you're talking about the first couple waves, it is egregiously long cooldown.
I thought it was like 30 seconds. That's why I'm like so scared to go like...
No,
I see Phoenix throw all his fire spirits. I'm like, he's gonna have it up in like 10 seconds. No point aggro.
I consume so little content in terms of Dota, like to watch like hero tutorials and laning matchups and whatever. But I did see a video, and I wish I could remember who put it out on, you know, laning against Phoenix and how to play Phoenix, and it was talking almost exclusively about level 1 not misusing your fire spirits, because it's like almost lane losing if you're support. To like just burn these things for no reason, and then you lose 2 waves because of it, and you know. I will stop rambling about it, as we're not going to see support Phoenix in this matchup, but it is a crazy cooldown.
So, the Ogre Magi by Toe, as he wanted, he messaged me earlier. Can you say I am so lovely on the stream? So here's Toe on Ogre Magi, the ever so lovely support player of UT.
You're supposed to withhold that until he makes a good play. You know, you hold it over his head and has to do something.
I'll do it again. Right.
Like, is he really lovely if he goes Midas on Ogre, right? It's kind of the litmus test.
He's fabulous. He's climbing the corporate ladder. You know, fabulous.
There's a few tests of humanity. You know, do you return your shopping cart? Do you go Midas on Ogre? I don't know. You know,
do you play Slark Plus 4? Do you think these teams... I kind of want to see a Slark Plus 4.
We were talking before the stream about, you know, carries being turned into supports because of, you know, how the game gets tuned and whatever, and it's one of the banes as myself as a core player of my existence is like, anytime a hero that I like gets buffed, it gets played as support and immediately gets nerfed super hard. But Slark position 4 really is like the pinnacle of Dota for me. Because on its face, it's like this hero is a D-word machine. You just exist. You have the enemy has no vision, which is absolutely worth a hero pick in itself. But now you have like cheap items you can go on the Slark. You can go for, you know, really whatever build you want, because you're not tied to doing any particular role in the game. And also you have a save with the Depth Shroud. So what really more could you ask for out of a support hero?
I think also a lot of Slark's phosphorus relevance also has to do with how the map changed. In the old map, wards were much harder to ward, but on this new map, if you're a support player, you'll quickly realize there's a lot less sneaky ward spots. And that makes it really easy for Slark to start dewarding. And also makes like wards that actually can exist much more valuable. So if Slark has the advantage of like his wards not getting dewarded as often, then him dewarding all of enemies' wards, as you said, like it gives the team with the Slark possible actually massive map advantage. Sure, your lane might be a little bit crappy, but you know that's just how the hero works in general. If you're willing to play around the vision, and I think that's also why you see a lot of high MMR teams, the tournament in ESL Relay willing to pick that hero is just because the team knows how to adjust to it and play a court like with it, right? In pubs, you're gonna get like people yelling at each other.
Oh, exactly. Well, and it's also like doubling down. I mean, you look at the drafts this game, and honestly, both of these teams have a position 4 that can scale pretty well into the game, taking advantage of the extra farm on the map, the wave shove. I mean, especially you look at Faluda on the Weaver, right? This hero can absolutely scale into a core, and you really don't have that much in terms of items that you need to go as part of the support build. But like across the river, right, Wind Ranger as well, you go, you know, one item maybe, whatever it's going to be for utility, say, I don't know, whatever you want to go, a Glimmer Cape, a Solar Crest, whatever the game calls for. You pick up the Ag Shard, and then you can go whatever core item you want, and you have this Focus Fire button later on in the game that's kind of like Axe. It's also an anti-carry, one target, you know, take down a hero. But there's so much more value when you can do that on a position 4, and you're also not stealing farm away from your other cores because the map is so big now. I think we should bring back, you know, mode poor on everyone. Back when 400 GPM was a good score, and you know, you'd see alchemists running around like 550 GPM. Oh my god, they're rich. One Sanjin Yasha, and I have so much net worth.
Nowadays, you get 300 GPM on alchemist just by gifting 5 Agnum Scepter.
I go back sometimes and watch these very old matches, right? Like, think about like back in the day, like Fountain Hook days, so TI3. You know, you go and watch what their items are, what their net worth is. It's hysterical, honestly.
Both teams smoked into the enemy's jungles, missing each other.
Yeah, very aggressive ward coming through from UBC in the mid lane. Sentinel gets the super deep mid ward.
Okay, Big Fat B's holding in his other obs. Is that a second smoke from UFT?
No, they just popped theirs late. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, and I think importantly, the Nature's Prophet tree didn't snipe anyone on the vision. UBC running through with the smoke, so
yeah.
You know, you find out about the move now, but too late to do anything. Game's underway. Runes 1 apiece. The best of 3 grand finals is going here. Tiny versus the Phoenix in the mid. A matchup we almost never see. I don't know that I've seen this in the last couple years. The question is going to be how hard, how much of a struggle is it for Sentinel, especially in these early waves against the Phoenix? I think he's doing a pretty good job for himself straight away. Look at Big Fat B's HP.
Oh. Wow, he still has 3 hits left on tree grab.
Well, that's because he hits so slow.
Yeah, the annoying thing about Phoenix nowadays is the mischance too also, right? So Tiny isn't an attack speed hero. He's based on his attack. He carries with his attack damage in terms of well, if he's a +1, so, and in terms of laning. So you miss like 2 hits out of his. Oh,
it's a little bit awkward as first blood comes up on the top side. Broke able to take down Faluda. That's a very surprising kill, actually. I wasn't thinking this could happen really at all, but I guess that level 1 Shikuchi is just too long of a cooldown.
It happened when they were fighting over the central. Oh, TA misses the meld strike there.
Need to pick up an Orb of Venom stat. So what do you think about that as we're still looking at this? But the Orb of Venom on TA, the idea that Orb of Venom gives you True Strike on that first hit. Do you think that's intended
Aura-
behavior? Is that going to get patched?
That is probably unintended, and I honestly don't know why AA has the Orb of Venom. It's definitely not what I
True.
expect to see from a support hero.
Yeah, that's definitely a strange one. Wow. Witchblade in the cards for broke. But yeah, do you think that's going to be patched out or like changed to intended behavior? Maybe the price of Orb of Venom goes up.
Probably just unintended behavior.
Requiem taking a lot of harass up here. There's not any regen left on UBC. This is going to be a struggle for this UBC safe lane.
AA shipped out a Tango, but I don't think the TA bought anything for himself, did he? Yeah, he bought nothing for himself. I'm not sure is this the position you want to be for in terms of dominating, and both supports are really fighting with sentry wards in this lane at the top.
Gets costly. Requiem taking some damage, and one more Anchor Smash takes him out. This level 1 Anchor Smash. That was a lot of damage on one Anchor Smash, actually.
And
Sentinel! Just burned out. Big Fat B, level 4, 2 points in the dive, and that extra burn damage was enough.
Like Fabi also has 2 bracers himself, so I don't think he's too worried about
Dire's middle tower is under
getting
attack.
harassed by tree grab in general.
No, that is a huge kill on the mid lane. We knew it was going to be pretty bad for the Tiny. And without being able to bottle refill in the mid, it's actually awkward. Tiny, you never think of dying, right? Always has so much HP to work with, so many resources, but the burn damage is really annoying, and now that he's got level 2 in the Fire Spirits, the uptime is a bit more consistent. Big Fat B going to use these just about every wave. And that's exactly why he's off to a 20-5 CS advantage over the Tiny's 8-0. Here comes another dive. Okay.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And talk to me, you know, from the mid laner's perspective as up in the top lane. More kills come through. This is not how we expected it to go for UBC.
No, but we did expect UFT to have a strong lanes, right? And well, certainly I don't expect. I did thought a TA lane would go better than a Tiny lane at top.
Yeah,
But
no,
perhaps
I
they really,
Middle tower
was definitely with you.
but perhaps
There's
that's
so much
just-
going on at the same time right now. I was looking down
Yeah.
bot for the kills and hop over to the mid lane. Pause is going to give us a
Power
chance
shot.
to work it out.
Alright, mid lane, the mischance and just the attack speed slow is really screwing the Tiny over. But maybe as you just said, perhaps they might have wanted to swap the TA and Tiny lanes.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you before we had the kills up top and got onto that thread. But as, you know, a matchup that you never see, the Phoenix against the Tiny. Sentinel obviously, maybe not obviously, but doesn't really know this matchup, I'm assuming. How hard is it when you have, you know, one player, Big Fat B, knows the power spikes of a Phoenix, knows how much damage you can do? Like, how insane is it to play this matchup kind of going in blind for Sentinel?
It's very very hard. Like ignore the fact that there's an MMR diff. Like this is just a straight up bad matchup in general, and knowing the limits of a hero, there are reasons why hero spammers get their hero banned out in these tournaments, right? Invoker got banned out for Sentinel, and here's Big Fat B playing on as a hero that he knows very well. And Sentinel, maybe Tiny's not his forte, but he plays it, let's say, 70%, 80. Let's give him 70 out of 100. Big Fat B's playing at 100 out of 100 in terms of how well he can execute with his hero. And this is just a terrible matchup for Sentinel, and he's not gonna have a good time unless you bring like 3 guys to mid lane to help him out.
Yeah, I'm just thinking back to that kill that Big Fat B had underneath the tower, and I'm certain Sentinel just didn't know that he could be dived at that point. You're not expecting, like, half HP on the Tiny, Phoenix is just pushing you under the tower, gonna go with the dive, like, no way you expect to just die to that. And yeah, with Weaver coming in from the backline, Big Fat B jumping through. Not the most HP to work with, still a couple of spirits, still the toss over the top of the tree as well. It's not gonna be enough damage to take down the Phoenix, and they will secure the kill on UBC. Or, excuse me, on the University of Toronto. UBC, they couldn't bring anyone in, but the power shot? Whoa.
Nearly.
If it was level 2, if he had level 3 on Kanjiki, 1 creep off, might have had him.
Yeah. Oh, he's gonna go for a snipe? Nope.
Dire's turret
Misses.
has been killed.
Yeah. Faluda made his way back up to the top lane. Looked like there might be something going against Requiem, but enough HP to work with now that he's back from the fountain.
Sashi really untouchable in top lane, and here comes a rotation.
Yeah, big fat BTP's in. Requiem goes down, broke, almost certainly to fall as well as one more right click follows him underneath the tower. 2-0-2 on Phoenix. Egg not even forced out of this top side. This is absolutely a get out of jail free card ultimate in the mid lane, by the way. It's Tiny, there's no chance you can take down the Egg.
I would not be surprised if we see another dive coming out soon with the Egg.
6-2 at 6-minute runes. Set to spawn the toss. Big fat B, he's just fine.
Shield rune for Sentinel.
Yeah, it's gonna stop any dive coming through with the Egg at least, as that's another 600 HP for Sentinel to work with on the Tiny.
Oh, Konjiki didn't take win runs. He's taking a lot of damage, but he's fine.
It looked like he got trapped in by the tree there, still toe. He's the low one. The Fire Blast is enough. Mr. Lizard not there with the spin, trying to cut his way through and catch up to this pesky ogre.
Oh,
a little bit more tech issues coming through. Yeah, UBC playing from their team facility. You know, sometimes you guys got to get there a little bit early, work through these tech issues.
All chat's coming out.
Listen, it's more like a pro experience, right? When you have headphones not connecting, you have your hotkeys wrong on the shared computers.
Yep. Does their lounge have like a closing time, or like can you? Oh, another.
Yeah, they said G and then had a connection issue at the same time. So I think unfortunately for Toe, he turned around on the ogre. So this is going to be a dead ogre Magi down here sooner than later. But yeah, in terms of the facilities, I don't know UBC's specifically how theirs operates. But my experience has been that teams with these, you know, club rooms or whatever, generally you're reserving your computers for whatever like school sanctioned things. So this isn't like UBC just showing up at the LAN cafe like, oh, we're gonna play some games. It's most likely they've reserved their set of computers to play, and they'll be allowed to use them until the series goes. If somehow they had 3 2-hour games and we're here all night, I doubt that they would be kicked out. But it is a good point.
How does one player have a connection issue and the rest are just like perfectly fine?
He sat himself on the wrong end of the room. I don't know what to tell you.
The Ethernet cable extra wobbly today.
Could be. Maybe he's got a magnet in his pocket or something, messing with things.
Looking in terms of CS, it's actually pretty even on the side lanes for TA and for Axe, but you look at the net worth graph, it's okay. It is also pretty even if you look in terms of network graph. 200 gold, 300 gold difference on the side lanes, but Phoenix is on a 1,000 gold lead at 6 minutes against a Tiny. So I think Sentinel, I don't think he's panicking or anything. He does still have his game plan and like wait for the blink dagger, play around the TA, right?
Yeah, it begs the question, how impactful is a gold lead on Phoenix? This is one of the heroes that we've seen a couple builds in the past out of the core Phoenix, mainly in the offlane. You know, sometimes it's a Radiant, sometimes it's a Shiva's. This game he's going for a very early Orchid. But how much can Big Feppy actually turn this net worth advantage out of mid into a game advantage, you know, whether he's going to the side lanes or forcing down towers?
Good question. I think his item here is basically act like he's just trying to be a high damage puck. It's the principle is the same, is that because he has a Tide Hunter, his team, someone needs to set up for kills on his team, right? There's no initiation. He has Weaver, Ogre, Tide. These heroes aren't exactly the best at initiating, and Toad does die on when he's.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw what happened. I wasn't gonna cut you off as it happened on the screen, but Axe just like went straight for the TP. And on the way out, he got clipped by a spin. His call TP is the play. One spin got him on the way out.
Was that calculated?
You know, I'm not going to say it wasn't. Konjiki underneath the tower, he's going to be dived upon, and Big Fat B has the egg in case he needs it. Won't be forced through. They're trying to compete
XP
for this
row.
Wisdom Shrine. Yeah, Mr. Lizard's here in the meantime. Big Fat B needing to be a little bit careful, but they'll stay on top of the shrine. Mr. Lizard in a world of trouble here, surrounded by 3 heroes. They're going to TP in the 4th as well. And they'll secure themselves yet another kill on top of both Wisdom Shrines.
UFT trying very hard and playing around the objectives very well.
Dire's bottom tower
Both Wisdoms collected. Oh, Big Fat B's oh.
That's a
Good
kill
snipe.
shot. Kanjiki, I'm sure he's cackling to himself a little bit. Finally has one of these power shots connecting and killing off heroes, and it feels pretty bad to be killed off by a power shot. You know, as soon as it happens, you know, oh, I shouldn't have been there. But you know, hey, what are you gonna do? They end up getting the tower anyway with the Furion, sticking around with the Treant. And you know, this game, I talked about Axe not really getting punished in lane, but while his CS is right there, you know, the tower's already been cleared out. Mr. Lizard's gonna struggle to stick around this lane long term.
This Phoenix and Weaver really are just running everybody down, honestly.
courier has been killed.
Yeah, they take down Kanjiki as well as his courier. And this is all pre-Orchid for Big Fat B. I mean, it's coming very, very soon. They're just set up around this mid tier 1 tower. Faluda still hunting out on the backlines. And Sentinel cannot even approach here. He's still working on the power treads, let alone the blink dagger. It's going to be called upon to get involved early on this Tiny, and it's not going to be easy for him to do it.
They're calling for smoke on AA, I think, but okay, their goal is a tide. It will be very hard though. That hero is naturally super tanky. He's Ravage.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Toronto should know something's going on here. Nobody's showing in the mid lane anymore. Still Sasha up a little bit far. The shackle shot going to connect, and now the toss comes through from Sentinel. Able to get involved with his first kill of the game.
Good kill.
Dire's middle tower is under
Didn't
attack.
actually lose too much. That said, Big Fat B knocking on the door on mid, and it looks like UBC going to be unable to defend this one.
I did say Axe was a okay and a bit equal with against the NP's network, but after the kill on him when he was like trying to contest the Wisdom Rune, the gap got pretty wide. It's closer to now to a 700 gold difference, and I think that honestly is like, if he had that 700 gold, he would be really close to the Blade Mill by now, like 100, 200 gold. So UBC really desperate for just any resources they can have right now. And UFT, they're not really even scared. They know it's really hard to contest anything against this Phoenix right now. In fact, they had to rotate like 4 people just to kill the Tide earlier, right?
Hunting
And
Mr.
they're
Lizard
pinging
right
their
now.
Axe. Yeah, they
Yeah.
are pinging their Axe right now.
Phoenix in from the backline. Big Fat B knows he's down here. Faluda with the bugs, giving some vision. The dive over the top. There is a call, but these heroes not very high attack speed. No spin's going to come through, and it's another kill into
that's
the
his wicked
pockets of
reveal.
the University of Toronto.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Yeah, Big Fat B still not having to use an egg yet this game. And that's going to be a scary combo, by the way. The Ravage into egg. Any point is such a potent combo. Sasha, looks like he's going for the Vlad's buildup. See the Morbid Mask in his inventory. 4 heroes up top looking for him. He's got the Ravage available. The Ice Blast over the top. He will get the Ravage off. The rest of the team is TPing up here for the University of Toronto. They've got the Furion ult to come through, and it does quite a chunk of damage. Still no return kills Toronto's way. They will finally find Kanjiki over the side. It looks like both supports ended up falling for UBC. So they get something back, Toronto do. Losing their offlaner, claiming both UBC supports.
Axe sitting bottom, and I'm pretty sure his team also made the call to ask him to just stay there, honestly,
under attack.
because he honestly he is just the key to coming back. Him and Tiny essentially are their pieces for mid game.
Dire's top tower
TA
is falling.
already has a Giant Lance completed, rushing a Desolator, really good against Tide, and just the low armor heroes on Toronto in general.
Yeah, Requiem really doesn't have room to deviate from this standard build-up, and
Yeah.
ideally he's given more space. Still, I think Toronto, they're gonna start to pose some problems with these outer tier towers already knocked down. It's gonna be all about Requiem finding space to, you know, get not only the Desolator, but honestly, the +1 item.
Here comes the smoke.
Got a little 3-man go. No blink on Mr. Lizard. Actually, not even the Blade Mail completed, so it's just gonna be phase boots.
You're probably trying to get the NP, right? With this 3-man roster, but I think
Yeah, they
Toronto
went for
does
the
set
scan.
something up.
They
And
are
they're going to walk up
hunting,
high on
and
it.
here you go. I mean, Misclicked is hanging around down here. Kenjiki looking for the shackle, trying to catch up. The TP's already coming through. With the focus fire, there is some damage. They've got the Ice Blast over the top as well, and might just finish off the kill with a kill shot.
I like how Mr. Loser was completely unneeded in that in that whole engagement, and he just TP's out as soon as he sees the Toronto coming in to back him up on the NP.
Yeah, it ends up a pretty great rotation for the University of British Columbia. Exactly what the doctor ordered, and if Kenjiki somehow makes his way out, no, there's a Fire Blast over the top. Still, you will make that trade any day of the week. Both supports for the enemy position 1 on the Furion.
I think the key question now is how do they shut down this Phoenix, really?
Radiant's middle tower is
Do you wait for free guys to come up to become farmed on the UBC, all your cores?
It's actually so hard to kill Phoenix this game because we haven't really talked about it, but Axe is not matched up so well in this game. You've got one anti-carry hero, right, in the Furion. But
Yeah.
calls on Tide Phoenix really aren't going to accomplish that much. Yes, it's a stun. Yes, you're holding them from pressing their own buttons. But it feels almost impossible to kill off Phoenix before Egg this game.
Yeah.
Need some kind of like call into TA damage, into a toss, into more TA damage, and hope that you have enough in the tank.
UFT smoking with a Ravage, and actually bringing the Phoenix here with the DD, which I still call DD, the Amplify Damage rune, which amplifies spell damage now. They're gonna drop perfect lines and walks right into
Run
the AA
straight
support.
into Broke, and this will be a quick one. Big Fat B jumps into the backlines, has the Orchid out onto the mid as well. The Ice Blast over the top, gonna do nothing to dissuade the University of Toronto from charging in forward. They're gonna drop the Egg, drop the Ravage, and drop the Axe. Still, UBC almost fortunate to only lose 2 as Faluda in a bit deep. The toss up in the air, the tier 2 tower hitting. He'll fall. Ends up a 2-for-1. And again, yes, Toronto make the move, but
Dire's top
they
tower
use
is
absolutely
under
everything. They come away with, yes, a successful trade, but not nearly as much as they could have had.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And I think it was just a consequence of them running to AA first instead of, well, let's say a Tiny, where he broke the smoke and most of UBC was like, oh shit, get the fuck out.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Here comes the play
And
up
they
the
do
top
ping the-
side.
oh,
UBC, yeah, jump forward, looking for this Phoenix. He doesn't have the egg to work with, shackled up, and he'll be brought down. That is an absolutely massive kill.
How did they know in the fog? They just that was well done by UBC. And they saw him in the fog, and he was out of vision for a while because they dewarded it. Here comes an immediate smoke, playing with the tiny blink, and A still has ulti, so
Dire
they can
are scanning.
realistically right now kill anybody, provided they're alone. No issues with them being too tanky or anything like that.
They're running in towards Furion. See if they make the path to the area less traveled. It looks like Kenjiki hunting his way straight over there. They're going to run headlong into Misclick. They've got the jump up top. Sentinel. 2 quick kills off the Blink Dagger is almost completely recovered his game out of this mid lane. 5-2-1 now on the Tiny. Where did that come from?
I gotta commend UBC for doing a very good job on ganking enemy carries. Usually, I feel like most of the time the carry in these league games usually get off relatively scot-free where they don't get ganked. As you can, like the TA himself didn't get ganked as much, other than the times he was like showing on the tower in lanes. So very good job like hunting, like, and Misclick himself was actually farming in some relatively safe areas, right? He wasn't like farming in the triangles. Oh, UFT going for the Tormentor.
They are, as Phoenix in the mid lane was hunting a little bit, but they should have this one with the Swarm applied. They've got the minus armor from the Gush as well. Able to take it out. But yeah, I think that might have been one gank where, honestly, they only go to that super safe area because they're playing against the Nature's Prophet with the global TP, and those are, you know, those are what we call dead-end camps for most carries, where if you're stuck farming that area, it's because you feel really unsafe, and you sacrifice a lot of your farm to go there, because you get 2 camps and you have to wait a whole minute, or you have to run somewhere far away. But on the Nature's Prophet, you farm those, you TP out somewhere else, or you TP there at the end of the day. So they're a lot more in play for these position 1 Nature's Prophets to farm regularly.
UFT planning on a smoke, presumably. We're drawing that line. Just scouring the whole map.
Yeah, they have both the Ravage and the Supernova available once more. Sasha with the Blink Dagger on Tidehunter as well, so... Toronto, they're just looking for the superior engagement, the superior jump. Take advantage of this ultimate combo. Sasha going to walk uphill. The smoke is going to break. Sentinel able to jump away. Broke not going to be so lucky. But again, if all you're finding is Toronto, out of these smokes is a support.
He
Can't
comes
be
back
too
home
thrilled.
from a long day at work. But honestly, I think UBC is making the best out of the situation they have, which is a very, well, pretty crap situation in the beginning. Now it's like much better. And if you look at net worth, Requiem on TA has actually recovered and is now actually just sitting at the top. So, I mean, so they're actually have signs of life on them in UBC, right? They are scouting about it odds right now, but looking at mid, A TPing probably was, nope, they don't have smokes. So I guess they are still waiting for X Blink Dagger, which is only like 100 gold away. But UFT, they didn't really commit any big spells, so they're also ready to fight. We'll probably see a pretty big fight in the next 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, I think even, like, UBC are about to finish this Blink on Axe, and I don't know that they actually really want to go with this Blink. I think it's all about, you know, forcing fights when the ultimates are not available for Toronto.
Tiny.
It's down bottom, yeah, Sentinel, he's just gonna TP, and with no cancel, he's gonna get away with it scot-free. See if anyone queues up a Yule's Scepter or something right after that miss.
Ogre going to pipe. And Tidehunter did just get a shard dead in the water. You want to say it?
Dead in the water, yeah, as soon as we see the anchor come through. Fan favorite. And yeah, Toe's one of those guys, he seems to return his shopping cart, you know? Not playing for the late game, no Midas here. That said, the pipe is, I mean, I guess it's impactful against the Tiny. I was going to say, it's not, you know, tremendous, as there's not a lot of sustained magical damage in these fights. Really is just that first round, whether it's the Power Shot, the Ice Blast, or the Avatos combo. But that said, as long as you're getting it off before, you know, a majority of that, you are contributing a lot of value. Yeah, he got called up in the top side. Now the toss comes through. Big Fat B doesn't egg, he just jumps away. He gets burned down. What was he doing there? That was interesting place to be on the Phoenix. I suppose just feeling a bit more unkillable than he was, and
oh, his team's coming, bud.
They are hunting dead in the water. They find the connection onto Kinjiki, and it's going to be a dead Wind Ranger to start things off. Able to force staff away from the call as well, Mr. Lizard. He will be falling as soon as the Blade Mill goes down. The Ravage not going to stop anything, and Faluda still hunting for more. So despite losing Big Fat B, the rest of his team are closing everything down. Sentinel able to get the Blink away.
UBC wants to fight this 2v4, 2v5 now, I'm not too sure. Okay, I guess TH did just finish his BKB, but
I think it's time to calm down. It's time to chill things down if you're UBC. I know there's no Ravage, but it doesn't mean that it's, you know, full go time.
It was very good play by UFT going in without the Phoenix and still completely dominating the fight, right? So well played by them. That's all. Like that was just very well played by them.
Yeah, they actually lose a lot. You know, you talk about the Shivas has just been completed from Big Fat B, coming out on the Courier now, but it's no Supernova, no dive, and level 15 Phoenix does a lot of damage, even if it doesn't seem like it on first blush. He's got that maxed out Sunray now, and really is a problem in these team fights. And going all the way back to that first catch, they had him with a blink call. I was very surprised they had enough damage to kill him off.
Radiant's bottom
2100
tower is
HP.
under attack.
To go with 21 armor now,
Radiant
by the way.
structures are fortified.
Tide is also going Ashivas. I don't know. Does he know he already has Ashivas on his team? Maybe he can just go AC.
Dire's top tower is
I think
under
that's also a good
attack.
item this game. But
Yeah, no, absolutely could do. Triple down on the minus armor. And in the mid lane, this time the egg. They will get it off, but still UBC able to force it out.
bottom, Weaver gets gone on by 3 people and lives.
These games are such chaos. The kill shot comes through. Kanjiki able to take him out. But that was 2 separate gank squads for UBC, right? They run Tiny and
Yeah.
through the mid lane, just looking for an avalanche toss combo and combo that up with the Ice Blast. You know, they don't kill off the Phoenix, but they're able to get the egg out. And at the exact same time, they're hunting Weaver down bot.
Radiant are scanning.
I think one of the underrated shards in the game as a whole is just AA shard on
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
where you get AoE stun on your ulti. Oh, here comes the smoke from UFT. They're drawing a line again, just hunting and scoring the map. They know UBC is going to be splitting and farming.
You gotta be careful. The carry is showing. He's gonna be jumped called. This is before the smoke's gonna get home. The meld, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of damage. And Prophet, he wanted to just be connected to the smoke, I think.
UFT wants to fight this.
Hunting.
Yeah, you have
This is
Ravage.
pretty greedy if they want to go through. Yes, you have Ravage, yes. You have spells, but the toss comes through. They're there without
Oh,
Phoenix.
AA ulti misses!
Now Faluda coming through. They've got the dust out. Mr. Lizard going to call out onto the Weaver. See if they're able to take down another hero. Able to get the time lapse and jump away. Still Faluda going in, and it's a little bit of awkward poke. Now Sasha going to jump through. Still has the Ravage available. Force out the BKB from Requiem. Kill off the Wind Ranger in the back line. Yeah, Requiem able to get the blink down to the low ground. The help of that refraction. Mr. Lizard is isolated.
I just blink Ravage.
Gonna jump forward, dead in the water, holding Requiem in place. Sasha finally gonna commit the Ravage. They're able to lock down onto Requiem, not gonna have the blink away. Furion able to TP in on the back lines and rain down the damage. The right clicks coming through are more than enough. And finally, it feels like Toronto able to turn the tides back into their favor. Very, very messy engagement for them up on their own high ground, but they will take it.
I think a lot of the issue there came from AA missing the Ice Blast initially. Which I think really, not really, I think it just straight up caused them to miss 2 potential kills on Titan. I think +1, it was the Ogre, I believe. 2 of the tankiest heroes on Radiant, so quite an unfortunate sequence of events, but AA, sure you play this whole hero on his ulti, so if you miss the ulti, right, you're gonna be quite sad. It's your biggest team fight impact spell, so one misplay there, I think, caused a pretty big sequence of losses for them here.
Yeah, and on top of that, UBC are very burst damage oriented between the Axe, the Tiny. All of your damage is on this initial engagement. And Toronto, if you're not taking down heroes during that first jump, they'll play this long drawn out team fight with the Phoenix, with the Tide, just able to walk at you. So as long as they're not caught in that initial jump, you know, things definitely do get awkward for the UBC side. That said, that initial jump, as the game goes, is going to be more and more and more potent.
We do see Tiny finishing up his BKB. And Axe is nearing it.
Yeah, it's a pretty good recovery from Axe. I say as he's actually below the Weaver in terms of the net worth. But I was going to say it's a pretty decent recovery from the Axe because the lane was such a struggle, but Blink Dagger, Blade Mail, and soon to be on the BKB. This is really the life of an anti-carry. It doesn't matter how much net worth you have because it feels like he's in position to just make a blink call and upend the game.
UFT sees nobody from UBC responding from top, and they know something's up, right? So that's why mid they're not showing. Nature's Prophet completely not showing on a minimap also. Just scanning for anything from both teams and missing kills. Good dodge from UFT.
Yeah, I was gonna say Furion all the way inside of the base. Just seeing flashbacks, so when he gets ganked on his safest camps, finally now able to extend up towards this top half of the map. But it definitely is a little PTSD there, where you didn't want to go farm safe because sometimes that's where the smoke comes right at you.
Does UBC have one more smoke? We might see a big Roche fight.
Toronto right now are underneath the ward on multiple heroes. up in this top jungle. So UBC have full information of what's going on. Still Sentinel caught by the bugs, and that'll slow him way down. Requiem hunting, the call is going to be off the mark. The Meld Strike will end up connecting. Big Fat B, though, more than healthy enough as Sasha just hunts through, dead in the water, holding Kanjiki down. Sentinel able to get the BKB off. With the Orchid coming through, they will take down the first one in Kanjiki, and it's mode retreat for the University of British Columbia. The BKB on the backline, and it's a pretty deep Nature's Prophet still. The damage not quite there from Requiem. One more right click up the hill, able to take him out. The BKB allowing him to run away. The Force Staff gets him out of danger as well. Sentinel very low on life. One more dive from Big Fat B able to take him down. He still has the ult to work with, so he'll be more than happy to go up onto the high ground. And they'll end up a 4-for-1 trade.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Is this a
little puppy
DM
paws?
Yeah, what's going on here?
You know, Sasha held it until they got that last kill, and there's no way they can go for more on the TA, so it's okay. Sasha having mom issues. What can you do? See, this right here, this is why you play from the team facility. UBC, they know they can't be interrupted by any mom. You'll love to see it.
Very unfortunate missed call from in the beginning. I think Big Fat B was also actually like under a watcher, so I'm not too sure what caused them to hesitate on that jump. Because as you said,
maybe just the timing play. You want TA to be a little bit closer. You want something. Not sure.
UBC is very burst oriented, so I'm not too sure what happened there.
Yeah, it must have just been like needing heroes to be in position or not being sure about everyone's positioning, and just causes that like split second of hesitation before they go.
Mm-hmm.
That said, Toronto going to open it up to a 9k lead. Probably going to be 10k before this is all said and done and these UBC heroes respawn.
Mm-hmm.
And it finally feels like they have cracked this game open. You know, for a while now, it's been Toronto in the driver's seat, but unable to, you know, make these plays materialize. All of a sudden, it feels to me like Toronto have stepped themselves into pretty commanding position here.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And more importantly, still have the Supernova available. So I think another thing to maybe think about, not quite worry about, but something to think about in these team fight drafts where you have a lot of big ults, is if you can get away with not using, you know, one of them, it puts the enemy team in a weird position where you want to go because there's no Ravage. At the same time, you have more spells in the Supernova to worry about on the back end.
There is a DD rune at top. I don't know. None of the teams realize this. And honestly, I'm surprised Roche has been ignored for so long. I know UFT tried to do it and just left it because I think they were scared UBC might contest, and I think it was also switching at night pretty soon, but... Oh, here comes the top.
Yeah, Kanjiki hunting. Looking for Sasha. They know there's no Ravage. The Ice Blast is going to be off the mark. No, it actually clips on a Big Fat B.
UBC needs to deward that Cliff Ward. They're...
Dead in the water, holding Kanjiki down again. It's a tale as old as time, this game. Kanjiki should be brought down by this one. The anchor, so awkward for the Wind Ranger to deal with. Big Fat B hunting for more, not gonna find the connection.
The Shiva does actually connect on him. Alright, UFT finally goes for Roche.
Yeah, ask and you shall receive. Roche not gonna be ignored much longer. Sasha did, by the way, turn that plate mail into the Assault Cuirass. No double Shivas here.
Toe still hasn't finished the pipe. It's for 30 minutes. But it's okay, Toe, you're lovely.
Bottom net worth for Toe.
I think he just got it right, the recipe.
But 2-2 and 13, he's having himself a lovely game.
Yep.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And hey, you're not going to argue with results, right? 28 to 16. Doesn't matter that Ogre doesn't have his pipe just yet, as Toronto are firmly in control of this game one. So for UBC, they need to find some way to climb back into this game, and with the Aegis on the Nature's Prophet, definitely makes things quite a bit harder. Oh, Kanjiki again, this time not going to be brought down.
Tower is under attack.
This is so sad. The Fire Spirits, he can't hit the bugs at all.
Trying to drag Faluda back. They're looking for some amount of burst damage, but Requiem doesn't want to go forward, not without support of the rest of the team. And yeah, you're right. I mean, it's really not been a fun game for Kinjiki, right? You're playing a Wind Ranger who, the two things you want to do, you want to hit fast and you want to be able to run in and out of the fights. He's been held down by an anchor, slowed up by these fire spirits. Not having a good time.
Oh, here we see Weaver going in on TA. Thank God. I think
Yeah,
a really big
held down.
Oh, great
Shackle
shot.
is going to latch. They've got the dust as well. Sentinel looking for the toss back. Is just going to toss him up into the air and not going to secure the kill. Broke down on the low ground. Not able to get his way back up. Held down by the anchor.
I think a really big problem UBC has right now is deciding whether to go on targets or not. Maybe, I think it's just a voice comm issue where they're going like, can we go on this kind of like Swedish some maybe or like perhaps, not some like definite yes or no, right? Because I see them just hovering around and some of these initiations aren't going really quite well. When what really needs to happen is like they all in on like a key target and then well do whatever they can afterwards. And none of that is just happening. Is maybe UFT is just playing really well in terms of protecting, but I think it's just really hard for UBC to do anything right now with all the auras coming from UFT.
Yeah, it almost begs the question, you know, can you bring down that key target when you're trying to fight through a Ravage or through a Supernova or whatever? Like, it's almost like every hero covers each other in some way, where you can't just, you know, remove the one problem because it feels like there's multiple fronts that you know, have to be concerned with right now if you're UBC.
Yeah.
That said, you definitely need to, you know, try and isolate one of them and make the move that way. It just is infinitely harder to, you know, find the proper target dealing with this sort of issue.
Alright, even so I guess you're gonna play it safe.
There you go, here's the 5-man smoke, and UBC, I like this approach, gonna try and come out of the base, find someone not in a full 5 versus 5.
Ogre is definitely not your ideal target, you probably want a core, but...
They see Weaver, not gonna break the smoke, now Kinjiki gonna go for it, they've got the call over the top, the Ice Blast should be enough to finish him off, and indeed Requiem nets the kill.
The temple decreed your death.
So 64 seconds with no Weaver.
And MP immediately TP's bottom and spawns the tree in, knowing that the team's on base.
Yeah, this is such an annoying way. Now, gonna blow the Tide Hunter. The BKB from Mr. Lizard. They're looking for this first kill. Onto Misclicked, able to force staff his way down to the low ground. Sasha, all the way inside of the base, has the Ravage ready. The BKB still coming through for UBC. Burned through the Aegis the one time, but now Sasha just gonna walk ahead forward. They're bringing down Sentinel. He's falling so low on the Tiny. Tossed his Tide Hunter away, make sure he can't get the Ravage on his dreams.
I think if he got like a Melt Sideblade, Phoenix might have actually died there.
Yeah, the toss
Very well
over
played by
made it
UBC.
interesting.
Yeah, very well played by UBC actually. The BKBs popped a bit earlier, a bit too early, but I think they played very well with that. None of them died.
Yeah, UBC actually like scattered the BKBs, right? So his TA popped one after the Axe had used his. Sentinel was still holding his BKB to follow that. And it made things awkward. Sasha didn't press the Ravage even though he was kind of in the middle of everybody because it's just one BKB after the next.
I think he realizes he doesn't want to use the Ravage on BKBs, right? And quite a few... UBC was scattered with the BKB, as you said.
Yeah, generally not what you like to see out of the BKBs. You know, usually you're looking for like one coordinated strike to take down the hero, but this fight, I think, you know, if the enemy team is separating the BKB timings like that, Sasha needs to just bite the bullet and, you know, Ravage onto everybody except the one person, or what the deal's gonna be.
Dead in the water.
Dead in the water, out onto TA, but Mr. Lizard gonna jump through. They're trying to take down this Tide Hunter before the Ravage comes through. Not gonna be able to get through just yet. This Big Fat B diving through, but needs to back himself away, and UBC, they'll try and retreat themselves. Requiem BKBs himself and forced out onto the front of this fight, able to jump into the triangle, but still, the chase is on. Now the blink forward, the Ravage from Sasha, able to connect onto 3, and Requiem not long for this world, he falls. Lost 2 already, Kinjiki just burning down to the Swarm, and the damage is going to be there. So Toronto this time able to flex that 19,000 gold lead and take down 3. Inside of the fountain, misclicked. You can tell he's not feeling the pressure.
Dire's middle tower
Force the BKB himself, but they will end up taking multiple lanes of barracks.
Dire's bottom barracks has fallen.
First down in the bot lane and mid lane soon to follow as they go down. Sentinel hunting around Avalanche. It's going to be Orchid before you can get the toss through. The
time
misclick
lapse from Weaver.
saved by the time lapse, absolutely. And now Sentinel run down outside of his own fountain, but anchored to the ground. He'll toss Sasha into the well, but will fall for it. Buyback from misclick.
Like 5 seconds on timer.
Yeah, he was able to take down the Furion, but just the buyback from misclick gets himself straight back in. While his team holds heroes into the well, gonna secure the mega creeps for the University of Toronto.
Dire's top barracks has fallen.
Mr. Lizard jumping forward, one last hurrah. UBC down a pair of heroes. They will take down Sasha the once, has the buyback available. But Mr. Lizard not long for this world. Supernova over the top, able to take him out. And again, UBC, it's a 3 versus 4 defense. Mega creeps are incoming, and the last round of the glyph will be forced out as well. Feels like Requiem versus the world right now, but the University of Toronto looks like they're backing off. We'll give the UBC just the slightest bit of respect. Still, 22k net worth lead for the U of T. Mega creeps inbound.
We see a Rapier queued up on TA. Don't know will we ever get to that point.
I have a feeling we won't, judging by the state of this game, but, you know, anything can happen.
Here comes a last, well, not a last ditch, but just a smoke out attempt after UBC shoved up their waves. AA gonna stay in base. It's just what AA doing what he can.
Dire are
Yeah, last thing you want is to be taken down first on the AA, so he's gonna
But
have the
MP
long
has a
range blast.
DD rune. I don't think they'll do anything with it, but yeah.
Yeah, looks like the Toronto are just waiting out this last round. Secure one more A just before pushing the high ground to end the game. And I will comment, by the way, as we wait for the Roshan, could be up in the next 2.5 minutes. This is, you know, one game, this is one area now where we actually have less information of the spectator client than the players do themselves. Because UBC knows when this Rosh is going to spawn with the TA and 8. And we do not. Valve, get on it. It's actually, like, it annoys me to no end the fact that they took that away from the spectator client.
Don't know why though. Did Valve just like intentionally do it or like never bothered to?
They basically used the spectator function to give it to the players in game. So they just kind of like overwrote.
Oh.
Because it basically shows up how it used to in the spectator client, except it always shows 3 minutes now.
Roshan,
Roshan does spawn, yep, and will be taken by the University of Toronto. Now, UBC did know that this spawned, but it looks like not on their way to contest, and it's going to be Aegis as well as the Banner.
Oh, they send the AA blast, but I don't.
Yeah, not going to be here in time. Will clip onto a couple of heroes. Not going to be enough, and it's actually a window of opportunity now for Toronto with no AA blast available. Big Fat B will need to be a little bit careful down to 1,000 HP after that Roshan, but...
Ah, he's fine. He has pretty free regen.
Another 20 seconds with no Ice Blast.
Alright, NP, level 25. Let's see, does he take the free time Shrian? He does. Not
And
much
the
left to
push
siege
is
anyway.
on. Tier 4 towers in jeopardy. The Roshan's banner placed down straight away, and he'll just get to wailing on these Tier 4s. The swarm coming through. The call comes out as well, but Mr. Lizard not able to do the damage. Yes, he will indeed as the Ice Blast comes through. Sasha falling low. The Ravage yet to come through, and it won't come through at all. Buyback from the Weaver as he'll time-lapse his way back into this engagement. And Mr. Lizard does fall, but the Ancient, the more important target, is Requiem burning down, just trying to hold the Treant, wailing away, and the Ancient gonna fall. As the Treant stops hitting, he actually sends it towards the fountain. It doesn't matter. This game is in the books. University of Toronto take game 1. 38-21. It's a little bit of BM there right at the end, right? The Treant's 1 hit away from ending the game, and you just, it's not going to hit anymore. It's not important.
I think UFT just established the map control very well that game, and UBC didn't quite know. And I think, frankly, this Phoenix last pick did do a lot, and UBC didn't quite know how to respond to it. Their offlane and mid lane needed quite a bit of time to recover, but by then, UFT basically said, nobody can fight us. We're pretty strong. Sure, you might get a pick off here and there, but who cares? We're still going to run you down, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, UBC had their moments, right, in the 15 to 20 minute mark where they had a couple of pickoffs on misclicked. They had a couple of good, bursty engagements, and they started to recover, but it just felt like Toronto ran this game through the mid lane, Big Fat B, as he's liable to do, top MMR player here in the league. Just kind of putting the early game on his shoulders, and while the late game really wasn't so much in his hands, it set his team up, to give away some of these kills where UBC were... It felt like UBC were rolling, but they never, could establish themselves as in the lead, not at any point this game, I don't think.
Looking at net worth, I'm just looking at net worth at 10 and 15 minutes. TA just drew lane, but the rest of the heroes on UFT definitely dominated their lanes. And, well, how can you fight a TIE Hunter at 10 minutes with an underfarmed Tiny and Axe and AA who doesn't have 6 yet, right? So
yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's there's kind of no way. Like the early game in all the lanes, by the way, it wasn't just mid. We talk about mid as the very obvious one where Big Fat B came out ahead, but it felt like all 3 side lanes just kind of were somewhere between 1 and dominated for the University of Toronto. Top lane especially, we talked about a lot about this Tide Hunter versus TA, and felt like Requiem just didn't get nearly enough out of the safe lane on this TF.
Yeah, we really expected Requiem to just dominate with the meld against Tide in general, but that didn't quite happen.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a struggle for them, and I think this went exactly according to plan for the U of T. They look to up the tempo in every draft that they have. They want to play fast, they want to play aggressive, and from the get-go, they were assertive on the map, they took control, and they didn't really let it go the whole way through.
Yeah.
So UBC going into Game 2, going to need to find some way to slow down the University of Toronto, whether that's in the draft or, by winning some of these lane matchups. Either way, it's going to be an uphill battle for them, already down that first game, and going to need to take Game 2. It is just a best-of-3 grand finals, so UBC already in the hole.
Is it on best of 5?
No, it's best of 3 finals.
I really wish they made a best of 5.
I go back and forth on that one. We set up a best of 5 final for last season, and I was a little bit more involved in, you can always get teams to agree to stuff, and it's like, well, at the end of the day, we'll do whatever. But you never know. Like, it's hard when you're talking about reschedules and doing all that. Like, you get a best of 5 that starts at 9 p.m. and all of a sudden you're playing games at 3 in the morning, and it's a bit much for some of this. It's exam season. You got guys need to be up tomorrow.
That's true.
So it is best of 3 grand finals, and Toronto with game 1 in their pocket already well on their way to winning not only the games but the series as well, and it's something that they're going to look to do, continue to push the tempo and take a quick 2-0. So we'll be back for Game 2. Just a couple of minutes. Stick around. UBC need this one to force us to a Game 3. Be back in a flash. Hello and welcome back here to the Grand Finals, University of Toronto versus UBC. Game 1, all University of Toronto all day. UBC needing to come back here into game number 2. Still joined by Chikarinahim, still having a good time here. But UBC not having as good a time, let me tell you.
UBC lost the first game, and I think that's because of a laning issue where UFT did do much better than them than expected on lanes that they weren't supposed to do well in. What we thought to be bad lanes for UFT, and a last pick Phoenix mid coming out that completely demolished UBC. And the bans we see UBC does keeping the first ban DK, but changing it to a Tidehunter. They recognize that this hero is a threat, and they don't think they can deal with it. UFT coming up with the same bans, Tinker and Invoker. But we'll see how they proceed from here as they do take reserve time.
Yeah, so do you think we see a Phoenix ban coming through from UBC in this game?
I don't think we'll see a Phoenix ban necessarily. It's more because it was more of a situational pick there last game, where it's really good against Tiny, pretty good against TA, and Axe doesn't really do anything to him specifically. So it really depends on what UBC themselves pick to give the possibility of Phoenix becoming a valid pick here. UBC does get first pick this time. Oh no, they did get last pick this time. No, they got first pick last time also.
Yeah, UBC have first pick both game 1, game 2, but this time we did see a flip Radiant to Dire. I think this is something we actually talked about last week when we were doing the UBC versus Seneca matchup. How this seems to happen more in these league matches than it does at the top level, where it feels like you either get first pick and Dire or second pick Radiant nowadays. But we see a lot more teams going for different ideas of whether you want first or second pick.
Yeah, UBC this time still picks up the Wind Ranger. Last time they picked up the AA. And the UBC actually did ask for first pick this time, so I guess they don't really think the last pick Phoenix was an issue, probably internally. I'm not too sure. They probably think they're gonna have to change up their drafting approach a little bit, but we'll see how they change it up, of course.
Yeah, we do see Tidehunter banned out, so none of this mirror draft stuff going on. No more shenanigans. It is a different pick order, yeah, like you mentioned. It's a different pick order for UBC, but we see Toronto going back to the same well.
Yeah, in fact, Toronto bans out the exact same heroes as they did last game.
Yeah, nothing makes drafting easier than when your first phase is identical, because you have the same last pick as well. None of the reserve time getting used now, or I guess 10 seconds, but none of this minute and a half of reserve time on your first ban kind of thing.
I wonder does the UFT think of picking Wraith King themselves, because the second pick for the last pick team, they can completely just ban out AM and pick Wraith King, and I do see a Wraith King more meta, but considering that Dusa won't exist, we probably won't see an AM. I do see AM getting picked because of the relevance of a Dusa offlane in pubs nowadays, but...
Yeah, if I'm honest, Wraith King nowadays doesn't care so much about the AM, mainly because, playing Wraith King, you only get to go into your Wraith form pre-reincarnate if you don't have the mana. So as long as you have Big Stick or Mango or something,
I see.
If you're down to 50 mana and then you get killed, you get an extra 5 seconds to run around, and then you get to reincarnate as long as you can regen that mana somehow. It's why nowadays on Wraith King you see, you always hold the skill point until you die the first time. Used to be you hold the skill point in case you might not want to use it if you're going to die twice. Now you hold the skill point because you want to go into that Wraith form. You're actually powered up in addition to, being alive for just longer duration.
I see. That makes sense. In fact, UBC actually just bans out the Ember and Disruptor again. But this time, UFT, they changed up the bans to ban Terrorblade. And they have the exact same safe lane duo.
How long before we see a different pick? I guess it's got to be next one, right? Because there's no Tide.
Yeah, surely UBC thought of something different and said, "All right, we went back to our papers, and said, all right, we got an idea to counter Ogre and P."
All right, what do you think the odds are that UBC have physical papers? They're in a team room. They're in a physical on-site location. Do they have papers?
probability of that is probably 0 because I'll be honest, most of us just alt tab and look at Dota buff.
But everyone has print dollars, right? On college campus, you get like maybe this is not a Canada thing.
I don't know does UBC get it. We have to top up our cards to print on campus. I don't know, do they have a free printer at the lounge? I do wish we had a free printer.
We had like a set amount. We had a set budget per semester of print dollars, and it was always way too many. You would get like 1,000 pages worth of printing.
What? That's I have to like print out papers for my experiments to like read some academic papers, and like reading a laptop, it's hard to take notes. So I always like print out like 20 pages or something. And...
5 seconds
I think we got it was like somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 pages of printing. It was always like the last week of semester. People would print literally anything. Like you'd see hundreds of flyers getting printed because it's like, I got money left over, so they could have a real draft binder. You know?
Oh, okay. UBC changed it up to Gyro Centaur. I guess Gyro, you just press E and flack down someone in lane. That's the idea. Do you think a Centaur Windrunner can handle the heat from the Ogre NP?
I think on its head, yes. That said, I think NP Ogre, really did perform last game.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't take a look too much at that Radiant safe lane or that at the Furion lane. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, wait, was it Radiant safe lane? We're seeing the same.
Yeah, we're seeing literally
Radiant
the same
Dire
sides and same pick order.
I was going insane because for whatever reason I was like, no, they switched sides. No, they did not switch sides. Yeah, we really didn't look too much at the Radiant safe lane, but the Nature's Prophet came out ahead, and they did run down the tower very early on as well.
Yeah.
But I think Centaur Wind is strong enough to deal. Wind Ranger might have a little bit of a problem against the Ignite if you ever get pinned in, but
here comes to Mars, very flexible, can be off lane and sometimes mid, I believe, but probably off lane. We'll be surprised if we see on mid. I think I actually saw Big Fat B playing it in pubs as mid, so
5 seconds.
I will have to see. I'm expecting this to be off lane though. I think it's a pretty stable pick into the gyro as well. You're really not all that concerned. You can always push away if they end up with level 2 in the rocket barrage. You push them away with the spear. If they go this max flat cannon build, you can always take a point into the bulwark if you need it. Generally, you don't. But the matchup is fine because Mars is also pretty happy to play this push-pull style, where a lot of gyro lanes end up like, you push really aggressively with the flat cannon, and your support tries to pull every single wave. But Mars can walk up and contest that, he can push waves himself, and can play a little bit more independently on the lane. Now the Witch Doctor as well. This pick I'm a little bit more surprised by, actually. If we're expecting a Mars Witch Doctor lane, I don't think the Doctor's going to be all that happy against the gyro lane.
So it might actually be a Mars mid, unironically, but...
Yeah. Because it's actually really hard for Witch Doctor to play against the gyro lane in this, like, flak style.
Yeah.
You're a little bit too slow, it's awkward to walk up and get the casks, and you can't walk through a wave. So... That's really what Gyro has going for him nowadays, is you always play shielded by a wave, because you just exclusively do this push stuff.
I wonder what UBC plans to pick on +5 to potentially counteract a Witch Doctor Mars lane, but... Like, I think... I think a good idea to have in these league games is actually just to, like, pick winning lanes and then just snowball off there, and a lot of teams win by doing this, actually. Comebacks don't happen that often unless you're a U Michigan.
Yeah, that'd be very true.
Dire team ban.
Alright, UBC go with the puck themselves, taking it out of Faluta's pool.
Now they're waiting on their position 5.
Radiant team.
Yeah, there's a lot left. I'm surprised they didn't go with the 5 here before we see the bans.
They did ban out the Phoenix, as you mentioned, actually.
I'm almost 100% certain that's just they have no idea what the Phoenix versus Puck matchup looks like. And the last thing you want is for Big Fat B to be like, wait, that's a good matchup for me. Pick it again. because this time they would have a lot better tools to deal with the egg. You know, compared to the last game, there was no chance they ever kill it off. Gyro's not unhappy to hit the egg, you know, the team fight. Puck is a little bit more unhappy, but you can always sneak a right click or two in. But UBC, I am surprised they didn't take a 5, because it feels like there's a lot that was left in the pool that they could be happy with. AA, we see banned out, but there's also the Silencer, Jakiro, still around.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I actually do want to see Silencers and Jakiros.
Got Tusk as well, a position 5 that Gyro really loves to lane with, actually.
I think, yeah.
Like, tag team with Rocket Barrage and Gyro Clicks coming is atrocious to be caught by.
10 seconds.
I'm just thinking,
remaining.
what is UBC's angle? It seems
5 seconds remaining.
Silencer? I mean, it would be a good teamfight disruptor, but UFT doesn't really rely on hard spells, right? A lot of their heroes are just... Okay, other than Witch Doctor, I see Mars, Ogre, and NP. These are just standing around and 8-click heroes, right?
Yeah, no, it's hard to get a global off before Mars can jump. I mean, generally, you're thinking, like, Mars is going to go in and press Arena, and then you'll get a global, is the general, like, if you get gone on, that's how it goes down. I could see a Jakiro, though. Just a strong lane, try and claim that your lanes can be stronger, and you roll that way.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything really better game plan-wise, you know, not necessarily hero-wise, but, like, game plan-wise. I think it has to be just rely on the strength of your lane.
I mean, it would also make sense to ban a Rubik against Jakiro also, so...
You know, they could go Warlock as well. The Fatal Bonds.
Oh, that is a very stable lane.
Alright.
Did you pick the ET?
That's a surprising ET pickup for me, no?
I think the function of this hero is... in lane is really similar to Ogre. It's just try and win the lane with your... Well, okay, Ogre plays off his Ignite and his Facet, the Learning Curve, I believe? Is that the name?
Learning Curve, yep.
Yeah, but ET just plays it off with his Spirit, right? But so functionally, these two heroes have a similar principle behind how they want to win the lane. But, and I do see, well, ET, it's always a tournament hero for some reason, even though you rarely see this hero in pubs.
Yeah, it's very
oh,
true.
and UFT picks a Bristleback. Is this
so it is the Mars mid, right?
It's a position 1 Bristleback. Position 2...
Alright, what's going on? What's going on here? Who's playing what?
Okay, it's a position 2 NP, position 3 Mars, position 1 Bristleback, position 4 Witch Doctor.
So at least we had Ogre Witch Doctor right, where we knew they were going to go, right?
Yeah, those two heroes we knew where we were going to go. I did not see the NP going 2.
This can't be the idea, though, can it?
I don't know. Maybe this is definitely a good Bristle game, right? So,
well, I was thinking more like, is this better than having, you know, Mars mid and whatever, Bristle 3, Furion 1? I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
I mean, like, yeah, I can't tell you either because, you know, I've never seen it before.
This is another matchup I have no idea about. The Puck versus Nature's Prophet mid. Prophet doesn't have the leash talent anymore, the whatever it was at level 20.
I mean, we'll have to see, because Puck can't really handle the stream by himself, but who's the higher base attack damage between these two? I think it's NP, right?
It should be close. NP doesn't have a lot of base, right?
Oh, okay. So we'll see.
That said, Puck, once you get a couple levels, is really not a base damage oriented mid. Secure everything with Orb anyway, so should be okay.
Konjiki playing very well in ranked games with his Wind Ranger. If we see it a 14-6.
Yeah, didn't have that kind of game last game here though in the official.
Yeah,
shame that it doesn't show that performance instead. Or I guess for Konjiki it's quite a good thing. It doesn't show that performance.
We'll see. Does he do better against a Bristleback Ogre lane? Again, two rare. Well, instead of NP harassing on the tree, you're just gonna have the Bristleback in your face. So two very annoying strength heroes also.
Yeah, it is gonna be a hard time. I honestly think so. So before we get underway, before we see any teams run into each other, who do you think has draft advantage here this game too?
I will say UFT because I like early fighting heroes such as Bristleback. But I wouldn't be surprised if UBC managed to perform really well with the ET and Centaur, Wind Ranger, these three heroes. I think they're going to do a lot of carrying in terms of countering the Bristleback, essentially. Puck, despite what this hero looks like, he doesn't have a lot of damage inherently, and not enough to kill Mars or Bristleback by himself. He doesn't need his items, so you're looking at the 3, 4, 5 positions on UBC to do a lot. And, well, yeah, they have great responsibility.
I think Toronto have at the same time accomplished exactly what they wanted, and this is a draft that's going to play very, very fast in the early mid-game timing. Bristle, Mars, and Furion all going to show up to every engagement and start to just knock on the door.
Yeah, I don't even think Mars needs a Blink Dagger to play the game, this game specifically. And there's the Crimson being a very meta item nowadays. And that's pretty good against Gyro, so...
Yeah, it also just feels like, you know, I'll give the draft edge slightly to Toronto as well. It feels like, you know, a little bit of awkward from both teams, but Toronto have this, you know, very clearly they want a very specific timing to come out. And we've seen it's a timing that they're very comfortable playing in, and they, you know, make life hell for a lot of teams. Whereas UBC, they don't have that same, like, natural spike for their draft. So while they can play, it feels like they're a lot more reliant on, you know, getting some lane advantage and just kind of playing their game.
I think seeing the preliminary trades from both teams, Garu taking the L at top and Ogre taking most of the L, but I mean he's Ogre, he regen most of the HP already.
Yeah, you know, Ogre's gonna do what Ogre's gonna do. Requiem does have level 1 in the flat cannon, they're starting to just push straight away. This is the one awkward thing we didn't talk about. There's no way to get range creeps up here. I say as Requiem gets the range creep with the flat cannon,
that should not happen.
There's no way for Gyro plus Elder Titan to actually secure this range creep, and it's a big deal that you can't do that when you're playing a push style lane for the first couple levels, because you know this should just be a lot of denies to come through for the Mars lane.
I'm not too sure. Do you want to block the big camp on ET when you're laning with a Gyro, especially because I know IO Gyro lanes you don't really care is the big camp if the big camp is unblocked when you're safe laning with IO Gyro. Most of the time,
no, in fact, I usually see them try to not do or try to like unblock this the other way. Where if Radiant was to block it, you see this driver lane try and unblock it.
Yeah, and I feel like ET himself is also a very strong hero, so I don't think they're actually scared of contesting if the camp is unblocked. But,
no, agreed. And you can actually pull the hard camp in the gyro lanes because you'll push it up so far that you have this, you know, potential. Not that it comes through all the time, but you can.
I think Puck is very sad right now, looking at the last hits. A whole 4 last hits behind, that's nearly a wave.
It's 5 denies for Big Fat B the first couple waves. It is a couple damage ahead. It was about 5 the first wave.
Yeah. Oh. Wind Ranger nearly goes down.
Yeah, I'm going toe-to-toe right now. Looks like just some trading of the paint, but you gotta always be careful about these quills building up. Does have the goo facet, by the way, on Bristle.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I think in terms of laning, it's probably better on the side lanes for this game for UBC than last game, but I don't want to make two conclusions too early, right? I thought Axe was doing well until they brought 4 guys over to gank him on the Wisdom.
Well, listen, we're 3 minutes in and it's 0-0, so we got a real Dota game on our hands. I know we've talked about this, but these games when they get off to like a 9 kills in the first 2 minutes start always feel a little bit more chaotic to me, as still looking for that first blood. Kanjiki has the big stick, and because of that, they'll take down Misclicked. Good start for UBC here in this game too.
Ogre does have 6-7 stick now.
Yeah, he could be in some trouble though. He's got a whole wave on him, and it's the kill shot.
Kill shot.
Honestly, I think the facet should rename it to Kill Shot.
It would. It should, actually. You're right.
Listen, Valve,
Spear.
get on it.
ET. ET.
Capro's in so much trouble. He's trying to trade through, but the Fairy Fire is there for Faluda.
Oh, and Big Fat B TP's bottom for a gank on the Centaur, actually, and now the Wind Ranger.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I saw his name in the kill feed, jumped straight to mid, and was momentarily confused. Why is this hero not in the mid lane? No, it's the TP behind. And had a couple of kills. Big Fat B be thrilled to have a kill in his score this early on into the game.
Gyro actually takes 2 levels in the Rocket Barrage, so he wants to fight actually in lane, so it's better now, I guess, that it becomes actually unblocked, but what's going on?
Yeah, I have, this is one of the builds, I mean, it's not like this is unheard of at all.
Yeah.
If you can ever get on top of people with the barrage, this is generally preferred. So you can actually fight back a bit. See Broke slamming away with the briefcase. That said, the way... Oh, that hit. Jesus. But the way this lane is spooling out, I'm almost surprised Requiem didn't go for the second point in Flak. And he's actually gone for a point in Missile. This one's a little bit more surprising.
Okay. Sentinel lived because Big Fat B missed an uphill hit.
Oh, that's so
He didn't fair fire in
awkward.
time for that A click, actually, so...
Big Fat B actually went Orb of Corrosion, by the way. This is something that I was going to talk about, I guess, when we clicked on him last time here in the mid, but now that he's got it finished off, I'm surprised he's gone for the suit.
Bottom. Bristle back energy goes down again. And NP comes back for TP. Oh, I guess not. Centaur does have Vanguard now, so he's really chill with tanking all the damage. Oh, what? But
Gotta be a
he's
bit
still-
careful, though. Big Fat B from the back. They've got the Maledict over top as well, and he's not going to be happy to tank that damage.
I'm kind of confused why he stood still for a second there.
It was the extended BM. He wanted to show them that he could stand in their face. No, I think he just kind of underestimated. Like it's a little bit awkward nowadays having Big Fat B playing this Fury, and we don't see it out of the mid lane. So it's able to get involved a bit more than we're used to seeing these position 1 Nature's Prophets nowadays.
Anyway, you were talking about the Orb of Corrosion on Nature's Prophet. I actually do see it on some NPs, not uncommon, and it does give good stats considering NP is a universal hero now. This +7 agi, and in general it's just a OP. It's just a OP item. I feel like that's a personal opinion of mine.
No, I'm right there with you that it is a extremely feels good item on. I was thinking any melee hero, but I suppose with the stats that it gives, you're not going to complain.
Oh,
Broke made the move through the gate. Stun was off the mark, though. Still looking for Toe. They're going to have the power shot over the top, able to take him down.
XP
With the
runes,
quills
let's see
building
who-
up, there's huge
Nature
sticks down here.
I do like this build from Big Fat B, the free 1/1 on NP instead of maxing out Treants. I don't. The more popular build is to max out Treants, but I do see DNM maxing out Sprout, and this early damage actually helped him get a lot of kills on bottom, unironically, and harass in lane also. It's just free harass on cooldown on what 8-second cooldown, 280 damage, pretty good. So.
Yeah, so this has to be just the, you know, and again, we don't see this hero on mid very much at all, but
Yeah.
your mid build this is a lot more adaptable to make a TP rotation, throw out a Sprout, get a kill, and then use the TP scroll, come back to the mid lane, and continue farming.
Yeah. I do wish UBC made some stacks for Gyro though.
Listen, this is a college game. No one gets any stacks. You don't get help.
Here comes to level 6.
Yeah, Dream Coil comes through. They're looking for the stomp over the top as well. Sentinel able
Power
to
shot.
dodge away,
Oh,
but he
nearly
just gets a
executed.
bigger hit on the NP. Oh no.
Oh, he was very. It was like probably like 10 or 20 HP difference in terms of the kill shot.
Oh, he jumped away with the illusion rune on Puck to try and dodge out the Wrath of Nature, and he just got bounced on by a bigger bounce later on because he was out of vision. Oh, that's so sad.
NP actually is the highest net worth in the game right now, with the most CS. Gyro's tied in terms of that, but I think that's because he has more neutrals, and NP has way more. It was involved in way more kills.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's about the dream start for Big Fat B. I mean, maybe minus the death, but he still gets the kill on the mid lane first, and it
Oh,
definitely
Smoke actually
is
comes
not
up
going to
from
feel
Puck.
great.
Without the coil, wow.
He runs into a
Runs
Haste
into a-
Rune Witch Doctor. That's going to end things. Yeah. Maybe if he had the coil, could have made the change, but no way home.
I mean, I'm not gonna hate on people actually trying to do things.
It was underneath the Obs ward as well. I'm not sure if they got the smoke off ahead of the Obs or if it came out underneath the
I think
vision.
it was ahead. I think it was ahead. Oh, Bristle. But they definitely contained this Bristleback well on bottom, I think. Okay. Like, got quite a few kills on him, so.
Yeah, right there with the gyro and net worth, but you're really not going to complain too much. They're going to try again here into the mid lane onto Big Fat B. The kill shot, not able to have the damage, but this time the Wrath of Nature, it's not going to kill off Sentinel. And someone pressed the smoke in the mid lane, didn't do anything.
ET pressed a panic smoke, I believe. But Bristleback, he's ready to.
Bro, that is a no spirit stomp channeled up. But it was enough to scare off Bristle. This is your position 1 TPing mid. He was in the fountain. And it's very, very awkward. I mean, they're going to bring everybody. They're going to bring the farm to the mid lane, U of T, but not how you want to be set up right now, pre-10 minutes
Yeah, they do recognize early game is a huge part of success here. Big Fat B is going for the Blade Mail, and Mars actually connects Arena for nothing at top. Oh, and he's getting... Oh my goodness,
This is
that damage.
a lot of damage. The cooldown's going to be off the mark. Rep Graham chasing forward.
Like,
this
here
is a
comes the whole of
maxed
UT
out. Yeah, I mean, he's caught in the sprout.
Whole-
It's a maxed out rocket barrage on Requiem, though. You do not expect this out of the one gyro. Kenjiki trying to finish off
no.
Sasha, will end up taking him out. The wind run, not able
because
to
the wrong
buy the
tree.
distance, and he'll fall.
Is empty.
Able to salvage things, as even though gyro goes down, they trade out for Sasha. But you do not expect the max barrage on your position 1 gyros nowadays.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Wait a second, look at what's in Big Fat B's quick buy right now.
Blade Mail and Bracer. Much more early, well, just fight-oriented instead of farm-oriented, right?
Top tower is under attack.
Yeah, I'm surprised
really-
that the Blade Mail's in here. I mean, I know we see mid laners with really powerful spells. You know, do you think the Earth Spirit type heroes go for this Blade Mail? But it's not a super high HP hero in the Nature's Prophet. It's also not a super high damage hero naturally.
I mean, realistically, he's probably going to be gone on most of these
Bot
fights
lane, the
after-
Quill's starting to build up. They were going on Bristleback, but not able to take him out. He'll retreat away. Elder
Witch
Titan's
Doctor
already
got a
fallen,
full
and
ulti
Toe
channel there.
able to connect for more. Kenjiki getting run down as well. Caught inside of the Sprout. The kill shot not going to connect. He'll fall as well. It's 3 more for the University of Toronto.
The
I
Witch
said this game
Doctor,
got off to a slower start, but all of a sudden there's been
Yeah.
21 kills in 11.5 minutes.
Are fortified.
UBC is really trying hard to make moves, and well, it's just UFT reacting really quickly to be able to save their carries like this. Like, Bristol got up like what 30 HP, and the Witch Doctor got like a full Death Ward channel that fight. So that was. Oh, I'm not gonna do the math, but a fuck ton of damage.
I can tell you got 1,200 damage off of the Death Ward and 1,800 out of the Nature's Prophet. So I said he's not the highest damage hero. Yeah, he might be a high damage hero. Wrath of Nature doing a ton in these early engagements. As, oh, by the way, look at his net worth, 6,300 here, 12 minutes in.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
It's up on top, Requiem, Sasha's going to connect on the
spear,
arena,
yeah.
the spear comes through as well. Faluda able to continue chaining the stun with the coconut. Got the Maledict off, Requiem burning down, he's going to try and turn things around with the call down, but it's not going to be enough to secure the kill. Faluda walks away scot-free.
Dire's middle tower.
UFT
And we
recognizes
carry down.
they don't really care about that bottom tier 1 tower, whereas BSJ would have put it how many years ago? Dead lane.
Radiant's bottom tower is
But it's the fact that they want the mid tower, they want the core, they want the important objectives now for the Bristleback.
I will agree with you that the Bristleback, or excuse me, the carry may be a more important target here. But I don't think you can call this bot lane the dead lane anymore. Like, Dire safe lane I think is still true. But I've seen some pretty good guidance that with the Tormentor 15 minutes being down here in this
yeah.
bottom corner, it's actually a lot more important for Radiant to hold on to their tier 1, the safe
That
lane.
does make a lot more sense.
Like, it's something I hadn't really considered because it's been years. I mean, the Radiant safe lane post, like, 12 minutes has always been the dead lane, but I think finally we're in an era that's not true anymore. They're gonna be able to find Sasha here in the mid lane.
Wait, then what? I guess it's also okay. I guess it's also technically true before the Tormentor was there, because it was the Roche pit, and teams. It was teams do
Dire's
like
top
the
tower is under
teams
attack.
higher MMR ones, not necessarily. Okay, wait, let's look at the fight. The high MMR play teams do go for the early Roche at 15, not early, just around the 15 to 20 marks. They do start thinking about the objectives, and I think that was nighttime, so Roshan was actually top.
Both
So I
scans
guess-
come through.
No.
Yeah, I think previously, like, when Roshan was in the corners, you generally saw the first Rosh being this top corner, the Dire
Yeah.
side.
Is under attack.
But there was also, like, the 20-minute timing, right? Rosh went top and teams were taking it at, like, 20.
Yeah.
And it's hard to see Dire hold on to it for that long. You know, relative to Radiant potentially having for 15 minutes is maybe a different story. Mid lane Sentinel's hunting Arcane Rune. It doesn't have the coil already. But it's just an interesting, like, just to, you know, wrap up this Tormentor and Radiant bottom tier 1, and then we can move on. It's interesting that we're still seeing, like, new map developments now. We're somewhat late into this current patch, and the map change with Roshan being in the mid has been quite a while now. So seeing new guidance and ideas come through is always something you love to see, you know, midway through a patch.
Is under attack.
Gyro might be less than ideal in terms of farm right now.
Oh, look at this. They're hunting Big Fat B. It's game 1 all over again. This is the mid laner, but nothing's changed. Farming out this bottom river, he's going to get ravaged. And Big Fat B in a world of trouble. The Blade Mail not going to bail him out. He's one more hit with the suitcase broke, able to take him down. Faluda canceled out that Death Ward immediately on the homing missile, and the call down going to secure the kill. Toronto still trickling heroes in down here.
A bit late.
And no way to kill
Honestly,
off the
Mars-
bristle, or is there? Blink forward, Mr. Lizard
Oh,
wants the
great
stun. They've
shackle
got the
shot.
two-man shackle into the Dream Coil as well. Take down Toe's Ogre first.
Mars
Already
is here.
misclick down to half HP.
Mars is Arena. Oh, he used a spear. But, oh, 3-man
Sasha
Arena!
gonna find the 3-man Arena. The damage is overwhelming. Sentinel looking for his way out and will make it out. See if he can take down Misclick. One more round of the silence. A couple of right clicks able to take him out. Sasha
Nature's
just
Prophet is
retreating
back.
to the safety of his tier 2 tower, able to push Sentinel down there. Big Fat B. Round number 2 in the fight. This time the right click's coming through. Sentinel needs to play his way down, but can't jump to the low ground. He's cleaned up. Is that a 5-for-3 trade here? 16 minutes in by the tier 2
Is under
tower?
attack.
No, Mars lived. Sasha surviving. So 4-for-3. Let's look at the damage numbers. 9,000 damage coming out of the side of UBC. And by the way, I take a guess who had the lowest damage in that fight, and maybe how much it was out of UBC.
Probably Ogre, like 100 damage.
I was thinking the UBC
Oh, UBC.
side.
Oh,
Yeah.
UBC. Wind Ranger?
It was the ET,
Like-
who you might
Oh.
expect, with 1600 was the lowest damage from a hero in that fight.
I thought he got like a pretty good
Insanity.
or splitter there.
Yeah, Wind
guess
had,
only that
Wind
got
had
lucky.
even more power shots to come through.
Oh yeah. I forgot.
Was all from that two-man shackle. Oh, Sentinel able to dodge the spear down bottom.
That Freeman Arena was something though.
Oh yeah, it was pretty. And the damage came through immediately as well. It wasn't just an arena that held heroes back. It was...
Yeah.
Got 2 kills straight off the bat.
Oh, UFT probably wanted to take Tormentor, but now they see the Garo flacking the creep wave. They're like,
Yeah, if Bristle comes down here, they can take out the Tormentor. Looks like he's on his way as UBC. They were hunting, but...
is ET trying to go through the gate?
Oh, this could be a scary gate to go through. Gonna back his way out. The Tormentor will be
definitely
taken.
know. They definitely know.
Look at this, the healing aura. The alleviation. Oh. There you go. There's a new ability that I didn't know existed in Dota. Alleviation is the Tormentor heal aura.
Radiant are scanning.
Mayfabi is picking up the Mjolnir now. So, the Blade Mail
Alright,
was
so
slight,
after the Blade Mail into the standard
Yeah.
carry Fury.
it was probably just a slight detour to help him fight earlier.
I was
Early
almost
Sprout,
expecting him to go for like an early Orchid considering the start. No defensive item on Sentinel.
Oh yeah, that would also be really pog.
But I think that's almost the Furion of old, you know, that's how you used to play it if you were trying to play this mid style, and I think instead of hunting the puck, he was just looking to flex the might, the Blade Mill.
Yeah, honestly, because of the blade mail, all 3 cores are now hard to go on, or you can't go on any cores without taking
Dire's bottom
huge
tower
losses, right?
is under attack.
Bristleback, it's self-explanatory. Mars, he's just hard to kill in general, and he has arena if you don't chain stun him properly. And now the NP blade mail, well, you're gonna take a lot of damage if you actually try to kill him. He's not necessarily a squishy hero either.
Is under attack.
Universal hero, 1.7. Well, when he has string treads on 1.7 KHP with 20 something armor. Holy crap!
Wow, that is definitely a lot of armor. I didn't expect backlinking on him. Haven't been looking at misclicked so much, but it is Halberd on the Bristleback.
Good against the Gyro, right? Does it still discriminate between range and melee? It does.
It does.
4-second range heroes.
He has got the S and Y queued up after the fact.
Is the Perseverance just like there? Or is he planning to build Lincolns with it?
You know, it's a good question. I'd love to see. I didn't actually see when he picked it up, but I'd love to see if it's, you know, almost the bristle idea of a Falcon Blade. Going on the Witch Doctor, see if they're able to take down Faluda. He's got the Essence Ring, so lots of HP to work with. Another arena on the backline. This time catches 2. Requiem, though, stuck smack in the middle of it. He's trying to lay down the call down and do the damage, but this Gyro just cannot stand up to the pain.
The Gyro
ended up going 1 for 2.
The Gyro was trying to hit the Mars, but the Mars was actually inside the arena wall, so the wall took all the projectiles. That's probably a massive reason why they picked Mars in response to Gyro, honestly.
It is super annoying to play against the Gyro, to play against the Mars' Gyro, and you can even use the Bulwark to steal some of the flat cannon attacks from your team.
Yeah.
Toggle it on and take some of those projectiles.
I want to ask, you see, you would typically think Bristleback is an early game hero, right?
I would agree, yep.
But Tundra, with Crystallis, they consistently have, I think, multiple 50-minute, 60-minute games with Bristleback carry on Crystallis. So, and they do win some of them, I think. Lost one, won one, I'm not too sure all of them.
That's the real question, yeah, as if they would win those games.
Yeah, well, how did they win those games? And do you think, like, UT's out if this game does go does go on for that long, right? I would say no for you. Like, UT's probably still in, because the NP himself is slowly transitioning to carry. Bristleback is going to be hard to kill in general.
That said, the UBC Tricore is one of the stronger late game Tricores that you can have. Puck is like the strongest late game hero.
Yeah. The Ags, the Mjolnir, the Parasma. Oh,
Spear into a weird piece of terrain. It's not clipped by the arena, and they've got the stomp. Puck, he's gonna be just fine. Sentinel able to get the coil and jump away. No! Sniped off the back line. Mr. Lizard now in with his blade mail, but he's just pushed away. The Earth Splitter not gonna connect forward. Just onto one as Kanjiki gets rained down upon over to the side, but Mr. Lizard cleaned up himself. The NP doing the work that his team could not. And this one little post right here. Almost saving Puck's life.
I'm surprised he got the vision on him for the Wrath of Nature there.
I think it was just daytime vision off of the Mars, standing close enough.
Here comes the high ground siege.
Yeah, the Glyph forced out and see if they want to keep going. They've got these Treants to tank as long as Bristleback is going to switch the aggro over, and there it comes. Did take some extra damage, the Shackle not going to latch. So they'll take 3/4, really they'll take even more than 3/4 of the HP off of this tier 3.
UBC really needs to take a fight on their own terms. These last couple of fights is them getting gone on and them trying to make the most of it, which was not ideal. From in the fight at the Radiant Triangle, it wasn't exactly a clean initiation either.
No, they tried to get in on the Witch Doctor, he got the Essence Ring, and then it was messy.
Yeah, so they really need the Gyro there, and somehow kite out the Mars ulti.
Well, they've got BKB on Gyro now. Requiem just had it delivered out to himself. The rest of the team for UBC trickling into this mid lane. Mars had a spear onto Genjiki, but now going to be caught by the Dream Coil, shackled up as well. He'll fall. Gets the arena down, but not going to connect onto anybody except for Genjiki. Meanwhile, though, Requiem's fallen low, forced to BKB on the low ground in the river. Things definitely awkward for the Skyro, but strong enough to clean up the residual heroes from Toronto, just the supports sticking around at that point.
I guess this is what we meant by taking a fight on your own terms, right? Mars being gone on with the initiations.
Yeah, it felt like neither team wanted to like commit to a fight there, and it ends up being just this awkward little around the mid lane poke. Misclicked, is he thinking about 1v5ing this one? He's caught by the stomp. Do they know he's caught by the stomp? They might not have vision here. And now Misclicked is in the middle of everybody. He's gonna have another hairball coming up in 2 seconds, and it's full bail from UBC.
Look at UFT. They're ratting. They got the top tier free tower, and now they're sitting the racks with a tree.
It's half a rack's already down.
Misclick is rushing now.
This is absolute disaster from UBC. How did they not get vision of the Bristle getting stomped? I thought for sure they knew from the Spirit.
And this Aegis, it just this situation's just completely flipped.
It's Fubar. It's all Fubar. UBC, they felt so good. They finally won a fight on their terms, straight into the Roche pit. And Bristle all of a sudden had like 6 goo on everybody.
Yeah. I can't believe they just didn't see the stomp they had on Bristle.
They're gonna jump. Like... They want some revenge, but not able to take down Misclicked, and tier 2 tower falls. They won't get anything, UBC.
Brock is just stuck there.
He's very stuck with the wave pushed in.
Oh, and NP just finishes BKB.
Yeah, it's absolutely go time for the University of Toronto, and I don't think they're gonna stop here at tier 2s.
No, they will not.
Arena ready. Sasha has the 9-second BKB online as well. Charging up into the mid, a 2-man shackle. Broke with the Spirit as well. He's going to latch onto a couple Mars all the way underneath the tier 4 towers. He's going to be stomped. Mr. Lizard trying to control and force the Arena BKB from Sasha. They will get an Arena down. Sasha still living, eventually whacked down by the briefcase, but Requiem out in front. The call down did so much damage. Already get through the Aegis. He's got the BKB on Requiem. Forced out as he's going to charge forward.
Requiem was
down
like
for UT.
Oh my goodness. What a great fight. The Gyro was like 1v4 and he held his BKB.
Big Puppy's hanging around. They're not convinced on U of T that UBC have won this just yet. Misclick charging forward as well. Aegis already used, but Requiem doesn't have another round of the BKB.
Missed a stomp.
Forced off towards his triangle. He's going to be caught. Oh, the Iron Talon able to get his way back up to the high ground, and that'll be enough to save his life.
Puck! Puck, he's no!
Oh! Just wasn't there. Misclicked might be in some trouble, though. Atos chasing down underneath the tier 4s, looking for Kanjiki. Will find him.
Oh,
Big Fat B TPing back in, and he's able to take down Gyro. Requiem falls. Misclick still healthy, but underneath the tier 3 will be taken out. Sasha in for round 2. Doesn't have an arena to work with. Sentinel still in the dregs with the double damage rune, but not able to jump forward for more. UBC all of a sudden 3 heroes on the deck.
Wow, we were all thinking like UBC's finally got something in the bag, but no.
It's 2 fights UBC just win. Full out win. Yeah. And it doesn't end up going in their favor at the end of the day in terms of the objectives. They hang around too long. UFT find them. They're going to look for the Stomp Dream Coil. It's on to everybody looking for the damage. Sasha another round of the arena, the BKB as well. Holding heroes in place. Now they've got the Death Ward Faluda not killed off, and he gets the full channel off Mr. Lizard. Maledicted down and almost certainly to die on the back end of this one. One more round of the Stomp. Able to take down Toe, UBC. They hold. As Centaur did fall on his way back to the fountain, but they do hold UBC.
That was actually a really cool combo. Like, they first channeled E Spirit, and Puck goes in to suck them all in with the W, the Waning Rift, and then into a Centaur Stomp, so they make sure the ET Stomp connects. And that was actually pretty cool coordination from them. But holy moly, UFT coming back, like they were 3 guys down and they come back in 2v5, 2v4. Lasted long enough for the rest of the team to respawn and show up. And UBC, we thought they were done with their carry, dead. Somehow they pulled it back with 3 guys against 5.
Yeah, and by the way, that hold on the high ground is without the damage of the gyro over the top. And we've seen, I mean, Requiem, to start it off, this, I'm going to call it all one quote-unquote fight, because it never really ended. But Requiem was just man-moding on the front, you know, killing off everybody. If his damage is there, it's just overwhelming.
His Satanic's coming in soon, so like, not like 40, him running away at 30% HP near the, before NP came back and doinked him, he'll be back in full HP for that scenario won't happen again.
Yeah, and I think he's gonna probably hold on to this Iron Talon for like the rest of the game, right? This is
yeah, the
to get out of jail free card. It almost got him out of the Nature's Prophet chase down. He went fountain and back right outside the base to eventually kill the gyro.
Yeah.
But what a game 2 here, 26-25. As at the end of the day, UBC, they don't lose a Rax, and they're only down 3,000 in terms of the net worth. So it feels bad, but UBC, they're not all that far behind.
Here they drop the 2 scans, taking a Tormentor again. The Gyro is walking up to farm. I don't think he realizes he's in danger. If UFT really wants to.
Yeah, they'll know now, seeing that Tormentor go down. The Aghanim Shard gifted over to Faluda, and this is a tanky Witch Doctor, by the way. 2,000 HP. He's got a BKB picked up. Somehow I must have missed that one popping up on my screen, but full BKB done for Faluda, and he's got the Essence Ring over the top. So we've seen them go on this Witch Doctor a couple of times. UBC have jumped him, and he's such a hard kill at this point in time.
He also, the Essence Ring. It's 400 HP. Oh, 240, okay. But
I don't know when he picked up this BKB, obviously recently, but
no, I didn't see you.
just missed it across the side of my screen, you know? It's one way to make sure you get ult channels off. There's no way to interrupt that one in this game.
It had to have happened in one of the fights, right? Because we were all too busy going like, oh, here comes a stomp.
TPing up top.
I'm not sure is this what you want. Oh!
And Mr. Lizard caught by this problem. Look at the damage out onto Bristle. Almost dead already, and Requiem not even here yet. The BKB TP from Big Fat B will get him out of danger. The carry not so lucky.
I didn't think UBC would connect fast enough for that, but Stampede, boom.
So much damage. So much work out onto a Bristleback.
And I think this ET, I think we're starting to understand why ET is being picked up by our pro teams, right? Even though we don't ever see this in pub. It's the coordination you can have with the stomp, and well, just how much you can do with the Earth Splitter. Even though it misses most of the time, when it connects, it'll absolutely shank them.
And here coming through, nice Sentinel jumped in as well. There's no Dream Coil to work with. The Arena out on the back line, but the BKB from Requiem will keep him topped up and healthy. Still has the Satanic. 30 seconds for Misclick to spawn. And Toronto now without that big team fight spell. Looks like the push is over from UBC regardless. Wow, gonna smoke up U of T. What is this?
They know by... Oh no, Gyro doesn't have BKB.
No BKB on Gyro. He does have the Satanic, but his team has already abandoned him, trying to force down that Nature's Prophet in the bot lane. Instead, Requiem just fully surrounded, the Death Ward channeled out, the Satanic keeping him healed and healthy, and he's just 1v3 against these supports. Finally, Puck comes in from the riverside. Sentinel grabs 1 kill, looking for Sasha over the top as well. You gotta be careful.
Dead, and he had BKB off cooldown.
Misclicked is back in on this one, still following the mid fight as Requiem, without the Satanic, trying to run away up to the high ground, and he'll make it.
Satanic at 4. 3.
Requiem, he's taking the damage, 6 stacks of the goo out onto him. He needs to be careful. He's got the Satanic. He needs the side gunner help, and it's not going to come through. He falls. Sentinel now chasing for the rest of the team. They've dealt with this Nature's Prophet. They're looking for more kills. Going to try and connect out onto Misclicked, and the question, do you have the damage to take down the Bristleback? It's like the answer gonna be no as Misclicked. He turns himself around. He wants to look for additional kills.
Oh.
Not gonna come through. The Earth Splitter off the mark. But they will eventually lock down and kill the Bristle.
Cinema. I'll just say Cinema from UBC. They got 3 guys on Big Fat B who had BKB off cooldown and managed to kill him with perfect chain stuns. Gyro was over here man-moding 3 guys by himself before the puck was in time to connect with him. Peak Cinema. Somehow they won that fight despite Gyro not having BKB. Big Fat B having BKB.
I mean, that is crazy. The entire UBC team, I suppose minus Puck, TP's a way to deal with this bottom push. They eventually connect onto Nature's Prophet. Fair play. Jump across. Gonna have to hold that thought. Sasha jumping in with the arena as well. Connects onto 2, but the spear didn't latch. Now they've got the coconut bouncing around. They will have a pair of kills.
They did overstay their welcome here.
Yeah, it's Faludo who's really doing the work. Sasha set it up with the arena, but the coconut doing all of the damage on top of the Death Ward.
Well,
But just to you know, rewind to that previous fight, with the rest of the team dealing with Big Fat B, even if they find him, you think it's going to be traded for the gyro. You know, just run down in the mid. The rest of the U of T team realizing that UBC have back to deal with this push, trying to extend on the carry, and he just lives for so long with that Satanic.
This gyro, I'm not sure they do have do they have the proper tools to man. Hello, Puck. What?
Yeah, up on the top side. Big Fat B doesn't have an Orchid or anything to hold heroes down, so he'll be.
I think he was just TPing to farm that.
Yeah,
Both of them were
slightly
equally
awkward.
confused. Both of them
So
were like equally confused.
So I talked about it in draft. It used to be on the Nature's Prophet that you would have the level 20 talent that I forget exactly what it was worded as, but you were leashed inside of the Sprout.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah. Okay. So you used to be leashed inside of the Sprout. We saw it picked up against heroes like the Pango. It stopped the roll. You don't have that talent anymore. So it used to be that could be one reliable way of dealing with Puck. You can't jump out of the Sprout. No longer.
Yeah.
It's not like you just have this solo kill potential.
That talent did get nerfed by initial. For some reason, it was never mentioned. Is that it pures BKB does leash, and everybody was like, and then it got nerfed heavily, saying it doesn't leash BKB, but it was still being picked on like support MP, I believe, and just got completely removed.
Yeah, I mean it was busted for a while. You just cast it on a rolling Pango, and he just stops in place. He still rolls, but he's just stuck. Period. Back then, even if you cut the trees, it didn't matter. But yeah, here you go. 5-man smoke, more important than us. Power shot up, just get some scouting toe, in some trouble. He'll be the first to fall. Is the Stomp able to take him out? They've got the Dream Coil connection on Faluda as well. His BKB was forced out in the mid lane prior.
They really need detection for this guy.
They will have him eventually, or maybe not.
This guy
Into the
is
voodoo
really
switcheroo,
hard
not
to
gonna save him.
kill. This Witch Doctor is queuing up in Agnums because you know he's so hard to kill in fights. Multiple times he's gone full channels with his Death Ward.
Yeah, that was certainly the idea of the BKB, is to make sure you can get the channel off before the Ags comes through, and he's been a big problem. They don't have BKB stun. You know, we think of it as the BKB TP cancel, but it's really going to be this BKB Witch Doctor ult cancel.
Like the only thing that cancels anything that's channeling BKB for UBC is just ET split, and well, the fact you have to channel ET split if Witch Doctor channels his ulti is that he's probably going to do enough damage with Death Ward.
Yeah,
you
in the
have to wait
meantime,
like
you have so long.
Yeah, you're going to wait 2 seconds for it to deploy.
Oh yeah, it's E seconds now, right? They nerfed it to E seconds.
Pi seconds. It used to be pi seconds, now it's 2.71 E seconds.
One of my favorite like Easter eggs they put in. I remember that patch they changed it from pi seconds to E seconds. It's the biggest meme.
Yeah.
That was ages ago as well, by the way. That was like probably over a year ago.
How long is ET stun duration? Because I remember. Oh, it's 4.4. Okay, I guess he could have always. What's the cast time? I remember people saying like you have to time it really hard for this stomp ulti combo.
Maybe back in the day.
Cast animation,
no longer.
Because the cast animation is really hard, but now it's like 4.4 on 2.71.
Yeah, and the level 20 talent as well. I wasn't exactly expecting Broke to be level 20 already, but this talent on ET is so incredibly good. The 350 Echo Stomp wake damage. Really, both of the 20 talents are good on ET. Getting the extra.
ET also does have Agnums now, actually, so he's looking down. He's looking to be really aggressive in these fights, probably.
Yeah, just wait. If this game goes another 20 minutes, we get some late game Dota. He picks up a Daedalus. You know, why not?
I would not be surprised if we start seeing rapiers coming out from this gyro.
Big Fat B, the TP, not gonna be cancelled. Kenjiki had the Yules.
Great game sense.
I'm surprised Kenjiki didn't you know stop that TP somehow. I was expecting some Shackle, Yules, Aetos, any way to hold him in place.
I like how Big Fat B is a nullifier, but the only person it's effective on right now is Wind Ranger.
Listen, you hate this guy. Everyone hates playing against Win. Kinjiki 7, 8, and 21.
UBC doesn't realize they're all under wards. Okay, they do
Now
realize
they'll
now they're all under wards.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
Seeing everything.
Here comes a Treant. Okay, I guess both teams are cutting bot wave. No, Mr. Lizard, go back. There. Yeah, that's how you handle the Nature's Prophet. Oh no, but top wave, backdoor is broken. Big Fat B's free to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, Sasha could think about walking up on this one as well, but we've got a fight brewing, so let's take a look. Radiant Triangle, Requiem charging forward. Faluta's got the channel through, but with the BKB, can't stand up to the right clicks. He will fall. Sasha TP's back into this one, gets the spear back. Sentinel still healthy enough. Mr. Lizard with the cart. Gyro in the cart. He's doing the damage. The arena comes through. Gyro now stuck inside of the arena in the cart. Still not going to matter. The spear not quite there. Kinjiki, look at the right-click damage on top of him. The TP definitely not going to work, and Broke also in some trouble. He'll get the TP away. Requiem stuck on the low ground, has the Aegis, has the BKB as well. The base getting ratted right now. Requiem just waiting to die this first life from the Aegis. Doesn't want to use the BKB just yet. Is Mr. Lizard continuing with the damage? Is it there? They need the kill onto Sasha. They'll have it. Mr. Lizard with the cart. Trying to run his way away. Bristleback staying right on top of him. Too much move speed. 518 able to hunt him down. Sentinel needs to be careful as well, in fact. Requiem still has the BKB. Silver Edge in 5 seconds as well. Misclick needs to be a bit careful. Now broken up, but not able to connect forward. Requiem, he needs to be careful. Faluta's back into this fight.
Nice
Gyro, here comes the BKB. They're looking for Big Fat B. They're going to have him. Requiem able to secure that kill, and another onto the Witch Doctor. Now trying to secure the kill out onto Misclick. Misclick turns it around, smacks down Sentinel. The cudgel still doing work, and another round. There you go. The break finally comes through the kill shot over the top. Kinjiki
He's
looking for one more. They've got the homing missile, and there's no way for Toe to get away from this one.
I don't think UBC should get giddy. UFT does have the buybacks here. They probably really want to throw him right now, looking at how Gyro is positioning himself. But UFT actually made the same mistake when they tried to force this high ground, right? So let's see, do the UBC do the same thing? Are they more controlled?
Yeah, notably it's the same 4,000 gold lead as Toronto were in when they forced up the high ground. Sasha has the spear. There's no BKB on Gyro. Requiem starting to take the damage. The sleep interrupts things for now. Requiem with the Satanic trying to heal up. The side gunner putting in work even if he's disarmed, but it's not going to be enough. He falls. Broke not able to secure the kill out onto Sasha either. And Elder Titan will be left alone himself, and you called it, predicting it from the future.
So we do see 2 buybacks from the course of UFT. And UBC themselves all have buybacks, so I would not be surprised if they use it right now.
Typical NA fashion, we could see high ground throw followed by high ground throw. In that last fight, by the way, the top lane of barracks was claimed. University of Toronto secured that.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure if it was Big Fat B or Sasha before he TP'd, but...
It was Big Fat B. He was just hitting the racks while his team was dying, but...
Mid-racks going down. Nightfall from Big Fat B gonna be cancelled.
He cancels it?
Yeah, misclicked. He was hunting the mid-racks. It was just the Elder Titan buyback for now.
Comes
Now they're going to buy back on Gyro. This is the big one. They've got the sleep out, the Silver Edge as well. BKB not quite there, but they're still going to have the damage to take down. Misclicked, and that is the dieback. 125 seconds on the deck. Sasha trying to run away under cover of his own BKB, but it's going to be not enough. As Faluta, BKB TP on the Witch Doctor. Well, that's one way to get out of danger.
I will not be surprised if Big Fat B attempts a base race move. Neither team has fortifications right now. Gyro himself actually does not have TP, in fact. And with that ward,
top wave is pushing in. There's not going to be backdoor.
Yeah. Radiant ward in the base, they do see everything, who's in the base, who's not. And UBC does recognize this. They de-push all the lanes.
They haven't de-pushed top very far, just one wave.
Yeah.
And they do have super creeps coming in, so that wave will push naturally. That said, Requiem already set to be inside of the enemy base.
They have Roshan's banner, so...
Am I insane? There's no backdoor here?
If they take this, UFT gets fortification again.
Why was there no backdoor there? Am I insane? There was just no wave anywhere close.
I think the creeps were like... It gives like a 15-second lingering effect, but... I'm not sure this is what you want from UFT, because you just use fortification.
Radiant's middle
I'm
Sentinel
not sure you should
jumping
get
in
Gunner.
deep. They've got a buyback on Mars, not going to use it. More importantly, misclick down on the deck, 50 more seconds. Tier 4's under siege.
Gyro has to be very careful. He does not have BKB here.
Yeah, 10 seconds for him. Mars is going to spawn. There will be a window to go onto Requiem. Jumping forward, Arena. They've got the spear, the double spear out onto Gyro. They need the damage. Where's it going to come from? Mr. Lizard charging in forward, but Requiem, he's already dead. 125 seconds. That's a dieback himself. And the channel on the Death Ward is fully there. So much damage coming out of Faluda. It's cleanup time for the University of Toronto as UBC. They're all dead with no buybacks.
This might be it.
Sentinel, he took down the tier 4 towers. He's trying, but he's just a puck. What can he do? Organ it up. He's got the Yule Scepter, but that's it. Needs to try and play his way out. Sentinel with the orb. There's no way home. There's no way away, is there? Blink into the trees. Canceled out by the Fire Blast. He's got a buyback, but he's it.
He's trying his very best, but he doesn't have fort. They used it. Did they use it? No, they didn't. Okay, but
They used it in that last push, that last round of the engagement. Centaur's gonna have buy as well, coming up just now from the gold, and he'll use it immediately.
70 seconds to D-push all the waves.
There's just no way, is there?
No,
just
I don't
no
think
way.
so. I really don't think so. And UFT, they have the mid wave here coming.
Yeah, backdoor turned off. No buybacks on this UBC side. Sentinel orking it up. He's in some trouble. The Fire Blast holds him as well. They've got another round of the spear, pins him to the Ancient. And with 125 seconds on the deck from Puck, no cores respawning for 40.
You just call it.
GG gets called. UBC tap out as the University of Toronto going to be your 2-time consecutive champions. Playfly Dota 2. And
Cinema.
deservedly so.
Peak cinema.
A peak NA game. We had high ground throw one way, high ground throw the other way. U of T just able to outlast it as they take the series. A not so clean 2-0 series victory, a series sweep here in the grand finals. U of T, I mean, they couldn't be happier about this one, I'm for certain. As that's one way to get your heart rate up, right? I mean, that is
Yeah.
a crazy game too. A crazy
a
victory for U of T.
Well, I think it was like a 4-time back and forth. UFT went up, UBC went down the lane, and it went the other
Yeah,
way.
they had the mid lane, the mid lane the other way. The
Yeah.
top lane gets pushed in. No, I mean, absolutely insane. And you know, you talk about the performances this game. You could identify so much, right, out of not only
Yeah.
Toronto but UBC side as well. But Big Fat B, you know, returning to his atypical mid lane. Those definitely words, but returning to the mid lane for both games this series and having just stellar performances. And
Yeah.
Sasha, he ended up 3-10 on the Mars, but felt like there was just so much impact there. Out
Yeah,
of
without
position
him
three.
at the end, for the double spear arena, well,
Yeah, just insane work there.
Yeah.
And then you talk about timing. I mean, Requiem was some 5 seconds off of his BKB when he gets
Yeah,
double
he was.
speared
He
there.
was 5 seconds. I think maybe Centaur should have stood further away so we can cart him if something happens. But we were all rushed, right? Like it's just adrenaline. It's all there's like definitely a lot of shouting involved. They're like, we're gonna.
Yeah,
win.
UBC are, and you have to like note at that point they're throning. Their hearts are going.
Yeah.
Everybody's on edge. Everybody's like insane. They're thinking they might have this game in the bag, and the hold comes through. I mean, there's not a more stress-inducing play in Dota when you're going throne in a game that's not necessarily over. And UBC, they end up on the wrong end of it this time, but you know, fair play to them because 43-41 final kill score. I mean, it's what an incredible game. What an incredible game. So, all right, talk me through final MVP here of the series. Who's it got to be?
Probably Big Fat B, right? Game 1, incredible Phoenix performance. Basically 1v forward. Kills it. Tiny is just his toy in the mid lane. And game 2, he just rotated early with the sprouts, secured a lot on the map for his team. And with the split push in game 2, I think he did it better than what Misclick did in game 1 in terms of map control, what he could do on NP, right? And I don't think he got ganked a lot other than one split push on the bottom lane, where it was like two fights happening at the same time but some UBC won that fight. But Big Fat B, I think he's a series MVP here.
Yeah, I'm 100% on board with that, and especially, you know, he hasn't been playing mid all season, maybe a handful of games, but, you know, just fits right back in there like a glove and gets so much done. And you're right, I think there was one time he got ganked on the Nature's Prophet, you know, in and around the laning stage early on in the bot lane, and then he had that one death, where honestly his death was reasonable to expect. You know, he gets the entire team away from the mid so that they can set up on the carry, and it's almost like an intentional, you know, you don't want to die there, obviously, but you're trying to bait the enemy team to come in and chase after. So it's really just not a lot of holes in Big Fat B's game. I think, you know, his MMR reflects that, and soon to be 13k, you know, it's always fun to watch. It's always something to talk about, so.
Yeah. Credits to UBC, though. They handled the Bristleback very nicely. I think they did lose to the Bristleback before when they played against UFT, and well, I don't think Bristleback was the issue this game for them. In fact, and well, in the last bit of moment, they rushed it a little bit, and they suffered the consequences. So,
yeah, that is always how you get made to pay. But you know, I think they really did make it a series. There's a reason that this UFT UBC, you know, rivalry exists. This is as close as we have to like a true official rivalry.
Yeah.
Here in the college scene, whether it's, you know, any of the leagues that the guys play in, and they definitely made it a fun one, at least from our perspective. So, you know, we'll have to, you know, continue to watch this develop into future seasons as well. But I think, you know, all these guys know each other. They're going to be talking about the match, you know, after the season as well. So
yeah,
we will keep on top of that. We're going to throw it to one break real quick, set up a little post-game winners interview with the University of Toronto. So stick around. We're not quite done with the stream just yet. Be back in a few to bring you the University of Toronto.
I don't mind being right, even when we got it wrong. I kinda like making it up as we go. And ever since the second grade when you first caught my eye, I knew you were different in all the ways I like. I won't hide that I'm right, even when we got it wrong. But why you keep playing without the same man? This other little lie, the common ground is shaking in your eye. If you could believe me, let's jump in the deep end. We'll jump in the deep end, yeah. I said, hey, we don't need to leave all of the differences aside. But you and I feel right. I said, maybe we don't need to leave all of our differences aside. 'Cause that's what makes it right. I'm nothing like you, and you're nothing like me. We don't agree, and that's what makes it right. I'm nothing like you. And you're nothing like me. Opposite sides, and that's what makes it right. Oh, every time that you think it's gone too far, we come a long way, and I know that it's only just begun. 'Cause if you think that loving someone else could ease your mind, let me just remind you, dear, of all the hills we've climbed, and I don't mind being right, even when we get it wrong. No, and I said, hey, we don't need to leave all of the differences aside. But you and I feel right. I said, maybe we don't need to leave all of our differences aside. 'Cause that's what makes it right. I'm nothing like you, and you're nothing like me. We don't agree, and that's what makes it right. I'm nothing like you, and you're nothing like me. Opposite sides, and that's what makes it right. That's what makes it right. That's what makes it right.
It's almost like falling in love for the first time, all over again. Hold on tight to the feeling, but it's a roller coaster in my head. So I'm holding myself on a precipice, and I've been dreaming off the ground. So I'm looking for something that's definite. I'm praying you don't let me down.
All right. Now we should be here. We should be here. And officially are here. All right, both of you go ahead and say something. We can make sure we're all here, and then we'll get going. Yeah, so we've got Big Fat B here. I guess I should introduce the bit, right? We've got Big Fat B joining us here. Took the series, took the grand finals 2-0, and, you know, big shout out to you guys here. Alright, of course your audio is not coming through. Go ahead and say something, Big Fat B. Make sure that you're here. Chike is not important. Oh, you're not here either. Technical problem. We're going to be back moment. Oh, yeah, there you are. Here you are.
Hello.
Big Fat B's here, officially. We're good. Alright.
Nothing like a bunch of scuff.
It's alright, it's fine. Listen, it's just like every other college anything, right?
Yeah,
this is how it's gonna work.
Yeah.
So alright, you know, how are you guys feeling after that series, you know, first and foremost? Congrats to you guys, a 2-0 victory always feels good. But that game, too, was anything but easy.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. When our Bristol died mid, I was like, oh shit. This might go to game 3. We're like fighting 4v5, of course, and it's like very scary. But yeah, we pulled through, and everyone was like super hype. Everyone was actually just shouting when I think when Gyro died, and then when is it Centaur? Yeah, I think Centaur died right after. I think that's when everyone was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna do it. And then yeah, we were able to close it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be some of the more, you know, intense. Like, Chicker and I were talking about how, you know, going throne, like hitting tier 4s when enemy team's actually alive and it's a real game, has to be some of the like highest heart rate Dota that you can possibly have. And, you know, it's fitting to take a grand finals into that style, right?
Yeah. Shout out to our witch doctor. I think it's the only reason we were able to kill Gyro in the end. He had a satanic. He could have healed up, but the death sword damage is just way too much.
Yeah, no, absolutely insane. And you know, on top of that, you know, Big Fat B, you returning to mid for this series, something that we definitely wanted to bring up. You've been playing primarily position 4, you know, apart from a couple of games here and there this season. But after a month of no Dota, we weren't sure where it was going to end up. How did it feel? What was the decision like to be back on mid for the series?
Well, for in game 1, first of all, beforehand, we were actually I was planning to go mid, and we were gonna bust out like this Veno jungle strat, but they kept banning it out. So we were just like, we weren't sure if we should go through, but then they started banning like the position 4s I like to play really often, like Rubik, Jakiro, and Disruptor. So I was like, okay, I'll just go mid, it's fine then. And Faluda still had quite a lot of more heroes that he played to go for. So that's kind of how it happened. And then for game 2, well, since we won game 1, we just stuck to our roles.
So game 2, in the draft, we were thinking that you might end up actually with the Mars mid instead, with some kind of like Fury 1 Bristle 3. Was that in the cards for you guys, or was it just straight Nature's Prophet 2 the whole way?
No, it was really meant to be. It was meant to be Nature's Prophet 1, Mars offlane, but then I don't remember who suggested Bristleback. I might have like thrown it out, but I don't know, maybe I was muted. But then I think someone else, I think our position 1 misclicked, suggested, yo, what if we pick Bristleback? It's like a pretty good Bristleback game. And then we're like, yeah, sure. So should I play Bristle mid then? And it was like, honestly, you can play free in mid. It's like really good against Puck. And yeah, it is. Like Puck has trouble last hitting. No armor, takes so much harass, so yeah, that's what we ended up doing. We flexed the Prophet to mid and had a Bristle go carry.
Yeah, no, that
worked out.
Yeah, it definitely worked out, and it was actually, you know, seeing you go the 4-1-1 build really get involved in the Fury, and it's something we don't see out of the carry. And you know, is that something that you've been running, you know, at all, or is that just, you know, adapt to the ability to gank early, you know, get involved early on?
I just read I actually don't really play Prophet. I think that last Prophet game was like 3 years ago or something, or 2 years ago, and I was just like, I kind of just copied what I saw other people doing in my games, and then I know a lot of people, they max out the Treant, but then I don't know, I just wanted damage as a mid, like as a nuke, so I was like, okay, I'll just max Sprout. I think it's pretty good damage. That's what I did.
Yeah, it definitely worked out. Chike, I think you are officially back. I think we've resolved
Testing.
Yeah, you are here. You're back
Okay.
on. So if you had any burning questions, you know, now is the time.
How much preparation time did you allocate for this series? Because I looked in the group chats, and apparently, well, I couldn't be bothered to timestamp the messages, but do you like prepare like a few days prior or what?
I think, well, since we weren't able to get any games in, I think everyone's kind of busy with like scheduling and exams since this final season. So we ended up kind of just talking about it. Like I would talk to, and I think we just talked like of ideas, and our main concern was how do we deal with like Medusa offlane, because I know it's been picking up, and I had a pretty good feeling they were gonna pick it. So we were like, I think like a few days before, I was already trying to ask ideas on like Saturday, like, oh yo guys, what do you guys think of how do we deal with this Medusa offlane thing? And then we were like, oh, maybe you can just mana burn it with Lion or like Nyx Assassin. And then some people were like, he's too tanky, or he's gonna buy Ag Shard and it won't matter. And it's like, okay, you know what? We'll just ban it. It's just too much effort. And then today we were like, oh, what if we go like Pipe? Because you know Pipe works on towers, slows the push a lot. And then we were just like, okay, whatever, let's just ban it. It's like it's too strong. It's like it might be too strong. I think I don't know why the pros don't pick it enough, or I wish I would see the pros pick it so I know how to deal with it, but it's just hard.
Yeah, it's got to be one of those things, right? Wasn't necessarily going to bring it up, but now that you've opened the floodgates, you know, not seeing any public match data from high-level pubs anymore. It's like, how does that, you know, influence, you know, your games, whether it is these tournament games or even like pubs? You know, sometimes good players have an idea of how to beat a hero, but you never get to see it because it's just not something they'll even entertain, you know, at a high level.
Well, what we ended up doing is we just went back to our heroes that we're like super comfortable with, the ones we play a lot, and we just tried to play like our own like play style. Like, yeah, we incorporated the ones that are like, oh yeah, go for a Tormentor at like 15 minutes and stuff like that. And like, but then apart from that, we just tried to like have this really like aggressive mindset play style in mind, because I think previously we had a couple games where we didn't play aggressive, and like game one, very like turtle or passive, the game went to like an hour and we just lost. And then we were like, okay, this is really not it. So yeah.
Well, and it's got to be less fun, you know. It takes an hour. It takes an hour to win or lose.
Yeah, the tier 5 items that never get the daylight, never see the daylight.
Yeah, what's your thought on the tier 5s? Are you excited when a game gets that far, especially as like support? I imagine it's fun, right?
I think a long time ago, I used to be a lot more excited. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people share the sentiment. I feel like these tier 5 items feel a lot like weaker now. The set of tier 5s now are much more inferior compared to the ones before. Like Trident. I remember Trident, that was like really strong. I remember like Ballista, that was really strong. And then like, what else was there? Okay, Pirate Hat, when he could like dig bounty runes. That was like money. Oh my gosh, like infinite money. If you have 2 of them on your team, like everyone just becomes like 9 slotted. There's like 5 moon shards, 5 Agnum scepters. Like, yeah, but now I don't know. I guess I'm more excited for like the meteor hammer thing, I guess. I don't really know. I don't
5
even know
Fallen Sky gameplay.
Yeah, 5 Fallen Sky is like what are you gonna do? Everyone just has a Blink Dagger. I mean, Blink Dagger is a really strong item, so I wouldn't think Fallen Sky is a bad choice.
Yeah, I've always said that you know, tier 5 item, like 60-minute Dota nowadays has become like unpredictable, like you can never know what's gonna happen in the fight, because no matter how high of a level you get that late in the game and it's just pure chaos. Like teams don't know what's going on, casters don't know what's going on. Like nobody knows what the hell. There's like 10 misplays every fight, and it's just it's just nonsense. But
yeah.
So yeah, good on you guys for not getting us to nonsense Dota. I think everybody can appreciate that. And yeah, the tempo gameplay seems to really suit you guys on Toronto. That's something that I think you just mentioned, but that's, you know, very intentional, right, from you guys?
Yeah, people just I guess we just don't like hitting creeps as much as like before. It's just not as fun. So I love killing heroes. Like, who doesn't love sharking and killing heroes? Yeah, everyone loves that. Seeing your stat line go up, something nice.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, one last one for you. You know, it's Chike says you're 12K closing on 13. What is the ultimate goal here? Now that the college season's over, you know, a little bit more, 1 game a week of extra time, right? What's the
Oh
goal?
yeah. Oh, you know, you'll see me check back in on what is it? September 7th, I think. September 7th to September 12th. Like,
Is that the start of the fall term?
I think it's TI. You'll
Oh,
see me. Just kidding.
yeah,
Nah,
that's
there's
the
no
same week. I was
No,
like,
there's
yeah,
no
college
way.
site. No,
No, there's I don't know. I
it's
mean,
an open quals
I'm
one.
just trying to
You know?
play right now, and until there's a new patch, I'm kind of just like pretty much done. I've been playing like Jakiro mid, or like Shadow Demon again, like just whatever. This meta is like same heroes. I mean, I guess people at like 12k they really want to win, so they just like same heroes like Tinker, Parablade, Nature's Prophet, and it's like, yeah, I'm getting kind of bored. So just pick whatever now.
Patch is probably coming. You know, just having finished.
It's
the
coming.
rally, and
It's coming.
we're about to be there.
OPM.
You're about to have some new heroes to play the same ones of over and over and over.
It's coming in Valentine.
All right, well, Chica, unless you've got anything left.
Nope, I don't got anything.
All right, Big Fat B, we will let you go and celebrate this win, defending champions. You guys take it once again,
Oh, yeah.
back-to-back wins. First prize pool for Playfly in some years, so celebrate with your I think it's $250 grand prize. You know,
Yeah, yep. And
buys
it's
one
US
nice
dollars.
pizza party.
$250 US. So when you get converted to Canadian, you know, we're gonna be rolling into riches. We're gonna be out partying for like 1 day,
Hell yeah.
drink, get some like hookers or something. I don't know if we can. I don't think that's even enough for a hooker. With like, you know how it is.
Yeah, probably not. But you guys have a good
It's
party.
like nowhere
You guys
near-
have a good party
nowhere
with the
near.
winnings anyway, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys next season and beyond.
Okay. Shout out to my
Awesome.
team. Love you guys. And shout out to, I don't know. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to you, Cool Hands. Thanks for casting everything.
Yeah, it's been great this season. Thanks again for having you on. It's Big Fat B from the University of Toronto, taking the series 2-0. Really did a bang-up job of it. Cleaned house.
Let's go. Okay. It's just like, I don't know. I'm still like thinking about it. It's just like, you know, still taking it in. It's just really good.
All right, we are back. Just you and me, Chike. We are free of the interview and about to wrap it up today. About to wrap it up for the season. It's been a great Playfly season, you know, in all honesty. Get the prize pool back. You know, the registration, the signups weren't exactly what we were maybe expecting going into this season, but I think we've definitely made it work. We saw some of the fewest forfeits throughout the regular season here. We did see one in the playoffs, which is always unfortunate and something that with the short series today didn't really get to dive into. But
Definitely hope for more teams, right?
yeah, exactly. I mean, on its head, I think this was a pretty successful season, and you love to see the few forfeits across the season. For me, is one of the big signs that you know, things are up and coming. We're having less teams than we had in the past, but more involved teams, and you know, I think that's always a good thing to see. And we also had some of the, you know, with teams dropping out, we have some of the highest average MMR teams. It felt like almost all the matches were competitive this season as well, and that's something that we've definitely lacked in the past. Where if you go back a couple of years, it was a lot of, you know, 2-0s, a lot of, you know, 3K average teams against 8K average teams, and all the awkwardness that comes in there.
Yeah.
And really just capped off by a pretty great grand finals, even though it goes 2-0. UBC put up a pretty big fight. This is always a fun series to watch, UBC versus Toronto. You had to wish it was a best-of-5 finals and we had another game coming up, but no, I think everything just felt good.
Yeah. Not much to say, honestly. Epic grand finals. Very intense back and forth finale, actually.
Yeah, no, it's a great way to leave it. I mean, UBC, they're not going to be so happy to leave it this way, but you know, I think at the end of the day, they put up a pretty good fight, and we don't get to see their perspective of how things went down. But game 2, I think they, you know, can't be unhappy with how things went game 2. It felt like they were, you know, really coming into their own, and you know, on the other side of the coin, we could have just as easily. We heard Big Fat B say they thought that game 3 was coming. We thought that game 3 was coming.
Yeah.
And they just fall short, but you can't really ask for too much more out of a grand finals. So that will officially wrap up our college season. Playfly spring season is no more. We'll be back in the fall, certainly, with more collegiate Dota, with more of these teams, as Toronto, your two-time champions, already looking ahead to next season, already looking ahead to TI in Big Fat B's case, and we'll have to check out those open qualifiers and see what the roster's going to look like that Big Fat B rolls up to. But until then, we have no more casts scheduled for now. We'll be back for the fall, but that is quite a while. So if anyone out there has tournament series matches that we want cast, I'm looking to, you know, get back into some of my community cast stuff now that the college season is wrapped up. So be on the lookout, be on the radar. Twitch.tv/CoolHandsDota. There will be some more casts here over the upcoming months. Not sure what that's going to look like just yet. But until then, for Chikarinaham, I'm Cool Hands, signing off. Thanks for watching Playfly College Dota this season. It's been a great one. Love you all. See you next time.
Ciao.
It's gotta be